very serious news today.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Very serious podcast.
Oh, good.
Or boobs and poop and shit and dicks. We could start with that instead.
And to concur with you, farts also.
Yeah. We'll just do a bit of that to start with on this podcast to get because it's all serious topics from here on out.
Good. I'm in a serious mood today.
Until we talk about movies and TV, and then that's just like medium. But
my mood's up and down all the time, and I'm on a down right now. So if today's gonna be a serious episode, I can do that.
We're going to be talking about Trump getting shot.
Okay.
And Mr. Beast Kris being a paedophile.
Okay.
And a bit more on Dr. Disrespect again as a result. So stay tuned for all that. But first, to level this out, it's the funniest thing that's happened to you while boning someone. Or being boned. I don't know which would be funnier.
I already know what it is, but I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
Why don't you do that thing that some people do where I said, well, it wasn't me, but my friend.
Well, no, because it's not the bit. This is really embarrassing. It was, I can't say, it was when I suppose I still had, like, girlfriend. That sounds like I don't get pussy. I get pussy, but the thing is, I don't date. Is the thing. I don't really date. So this is
hook up.
This is back when I used to still date, and I was with my girlfriend at the time, and I had the house to myself, and she was over, so naturally, we were doing.
I just got to open this door because there's a dog in the house. And for fuck's sake. Carry on.
Sorry. I'm going to say this right now. If somehow anybody that is related to me is listening to this right now, don't listen to this bit. Don't listen for like a good minute or two, okay? I mean, I'm being serious about that. Stop. Right, okay, so right. Okay. So we just finished having sex, and I finished.
You finished.
I finished. I arrived all over her. As she
you didn't need to say all over her.
Well, no, I do because it's part of the story.
You could have said she was glazed elegantly.
She was glazed upon. I glazed upon her. Yeah.
Okay. This is a great start.
Afterwards, she was tending to my testiculars.
Afterwards.
Yeah. It was a bit of like aftercare thing, and I tried to say this in a sexy way, but it just it just wasn't. I was like, oh, do you like my fucking balls, baby? And she was like going, oh yeah, and I went, oh yeah, that's all of my fucking cum comes from, and she went, yeah.
Listen, right? Yeah. That's not as bad as you think.
No, I know, but like I was just sitting, and then she went, yeah, and I just like sort of went, yeah. I just laughed about it. It was just really funny. It was just
that sounds like a London experience.
I know, it kind of what it was, because we both laughed about it after. It was really funny and nice, but it was just like, yeah, of course it is.
That's totally on her for making that awkward, though. 100%.
No,
it's like if you're in the midst of dirty talk and you say something like that, you have to be like, yeah, that's where all that comes from or something.
I need a script or something. I can't go off script.
I know what you mean. I've always struggled with that, but enjoyed that. The talking aspect of stuff, but it's just never gone well.
I don't think I've ever fucked up in sexy talk like that before.
I think you've got to be very sexy for it to work, don't you?
Yeah.
And, well, you can see us if you're watching the video version of this, so... you can get the video version on YouTube. YouTube streams badly on YouTube, podcasts badly on all audio platforms and that. You can even get the video version on Spotify. Not said that for ages. And speaking of which, quick service announcements to do with the podcast, and then we'll get into all the serious shit. We pretty much decided that there's going to be an end to the podcast.
We're in the end game now, Stark.
I suppose so. We're going to go to episode 300, and then there's just not really any point doing it, really, because basically what we figured out was, I've literally, God, when did I first start making YouTube videos? When I was about 14? It's not even it's 13 years I've been making online content. The amount of shit it's caused me, like the amount of negativity I've been given, compared to any sort of benefit, is overwhelming. So it's like, what's the point? We don't have to publish anything, you know? So just on a Thursday, instead of doing this, we'll do whatever the fuck we want. We might watch a film, we might play some games, we might do whatever the fuck we want, and none of you will be able to see it. So fuck you.
It's, especially with how I end up feeling, because it's just there's some days when it comes to doing this and I'm just like, I can't be fucked. I just don't want to.
Well, all I would say is, the reason it could restart is kind of to do with that. If we then start not doing things on a Thursday regularly because there's not the obligation, then that would be a problem for me. So if we need the obligation, which sounds a bit shit, really, doesn't it? But if we need the obligation, I think we should do it again, because I do think it's well worth doing something once a week at least. So that's how that's working out. Anyway, it's not important. No one cares. Trump was shot.
Yeah, he got shot in the fucking face, didn't he?
Do you know what's weird? Sometimes when I talk to people about this and say it as Trump was shot, they're like, well, they weren't shot.
No, he was shot.
Well, they was shot.
You know, like, the bullet... I mean, I suppose, mate, I was going to say if the bullet doesn't hit you, you could still be shot at, you know, but it did hit him. He was shot.
Yeah.
It was,
and like, you could say he was clipped with a bullet, but that to me is just the most minor way of getting shot.
He was shot, but like, you know, like if I quickly, you know, burn my hand on a countertop, I'm like, fuck, you know, I was still burnt then, but you know, so was a guy who was set on fire. He was still burnt. Just it was a lot more serious.
Yeah, exactly. So he was shot.
Yeah.
And do you know, my first reaction to this was, oh shit, so we're in this timeline. Where his head didn't get blown off.
Yeah.
It really, I don't think I've ever been more aware of feeling like a timeline was split.
That was a fractured timeline.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I think people are fucking crazy.
I know.
One of the biggest things I saw about it, and especially in our country, is very anti-Trump.
Yeah.
Like, very anti-Trump.
Is it actually?
Yeah,
really?
Definitely. British people fucking hate Trump.
Do they?
Yeah.
Because I usually only hear like good stuff from the British
you're
public.
like an incel and shit. And
no, I actually hang out with more groups because I am with a friend of groups with a group of friends.
I'm friendly with a group.
I'm friendly with some.
I'm friends with a guy called Group.
Yeah. And they're they're all very like left.
Some friends on Groupon. That was rubbish.
I have a group of friends that's all very left leaning. I have a group of friends that's very right leaning because political views should not dictate friendships, and if they do, then you're a fucking idiot.
Give you a high five.
That was good enough. But yeah, I don't know. But I just feel like I've heard more good stuff than I would have.
Perhaps, but here's the thing, right? Our country is very centralist, but kind of left.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
It's like, in terms of the world, we're reasonably centralist, but definitely like enough on the left side of politics.
Yeah,
where we're left but close to the centre.
Yeah, it's strange because I feel like the general British person is more right.
They're really not.
Really?
Honestly.
Yeah.
So there's the Democrats and the Republicans in America.
Mm-hmm.
The Republicans, Trump's party, he's obviously the more right-wing one.
Yeah.
And the Democrats are the more left-wing, the more liberal ones. The Democrats are more right-wing than our most, well, maybe not our most right-wing parties, but for us it's Labour and Conservative. Democrats are more right-wing than our Conservatives.
Yeah.
So even out of their two choices, their left party is more right than our right.
Yeah.
Basically. So, and it's same across Europe and things like that. It's kind of basically where America is, that's the most right wing, and then it gets more communist as you go across the map, basically.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So yeah, we're central left leaning. So basically that means most people don't like Trump in our country.
Okay.
They don't like him.
Yeah.
But like, so what's been kind of weird and terrifying to me.
Hold on, wait a sec. That's the guest. Oh my god, President Trump's here!
What the fuck is this? Oh, sorry. Okay.
That's the president, dude!
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Hello,
sorry.
boys. How we doing?
You wanted to do a Trump impression. That whole thing was.
What do you mean? This is me.
Hi, Trump.
Donald J. Trump.
How's your ear?
I'm doing fine. I was fine.
You couldn't put it in the best, perhaps.
I had the best doctors on my staff.
And the worst security
And
team.
the worst security. Did you see them? Awful, terrible.
Too many women are around.
Yeah,
Trump,
too many women.
apparently,
Too many fat women in the Secret
Trump
Service.
said it. Trump said it, not me. No, literally.
Okay,
That's what
I'm
he
going.
said. That's not genuinely not.
Bye,
what he
Mr.
said that.
President.
Bye. He just came to be sexist and ran off. But it's,
that was his whole term.
oh dear. Yeah. So, but what I found terrifying, right, was the amount of people, and quite a lot of them in our country. I'm not going to say who, but a couple of people very close to me. Now, don't think that means it's my girlfriend, by the way, because I'm not saying it's
Immediately, I went, Dad. No?
Well, our dad is the most conspiracy theory guy that we know. But I'm not going to say... It could have been him, could have been my girlfriend, could have been you, could have been my mum, could have been my grandma. I'm literally not going to say who it was. But a couple of people who are very close to me were like... They pretty much straight up said they wish he did get shot.
Oh, okay. That's not what I was wanting to say about it.
But to me, that's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like... You don't have to be on his side or part of that party to know that a presidential candidate of the most powerful, debatable now, but the most powerful country in the world, being easily assassinated is very, very, very bad.
Yeah.
It's really, really terrible. Like, we're literally, honestly, the people comparing him to someone like Hitler, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely unbelievable. Like, I'm not going to say that there's never a good reason for an assassination. But what I will say is, fucking hell, that's a really niche scenario and really, incredibly probably shouldn't happen.
This is like, we're talking the guy literally has internment camps and is torturing babies and, ruin...
And, openly doing that. As in he's definitely doing it. And people say,
I love torturing babies. I'm the best.
Trump caged loads of immigrants. Where? Obama caged more. It's just like... We're not on Trump's side either, by the way. We're very much... Well, at least I know I am not a Trump fan.
If I had to vote for one or the other, I'd probably vote for Trump right now.
Biden versus Trump is like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Even all the Democrat people Like, honestly, in my lifetime, there's absolutely never been a worse president than Biden. It's not even close.
No, I couldn't think of one. I don't know. I mean, I suppose fucking Bush did.
We weren't alive for Bush.
Weren't we?
Were we? Oh, were we?
You were. I was. I think I was just. Maybe. No, I was because he was president.
Presidency.
Yeah, it was.
2001, 2009. Okay, so
9/11 happened.
No, I'd take Bush over Biden. I would. I mean, I suppose I actually don't know loads about him. I mean, Clinton's not known for being great either, but I'd take Clinton over Biden. The best is Obama for sure. Like, that should not. But honestly, I think it probably goes Obama, and then
I feel
Clinton and Trump's probably close. Then probably Bush, then Biden.
The thing is, if it's image, then Barack Obama was the best president. Like, I feel like he just had all bases covered, really. Like, he was like a guy you felt like you could talk to. Talk to everybody.
But I don't give a shit about image. It's literally, I don't care how they're perceived. It's just about how effective they were as a leader of a country. And I honestly, I know the least about Bush and Clinton, of course, because they were the oldest, furthest away. But to me, 100% Obama's definitely the top.
It were
Trump.
It was Obama's It was Obama's presidency when they got Bin Laden, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it could have been any of them. Come on, it wasn't really down to him. Anyway, so as much as Trump versus Biden, opinions on that. Biden absolutely fucking sucks. Trump's better than him, and I hate Trump. I think he's a terrible person and president.
I think that's fair.
But now we'll talk about the actual shooting bit of it in a sec. Now it's looking like it's probably going to be Kamala Harris as leader of Democrats because Biden's dropped out.
Which she kind of always said. That hand's been up Biden's arse for like a good...
puppeting his fucking shit. He's not got good control.
No. She's been ratatouilleing that bitch for fucking like months now.
So this is why I'm now kind of, if I were going to vote for either of them, I'd be torn. I'd be very torn. Because you've got to think she was probably running the show really when Biden was working, and when he was there, it was awful.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get similar sort of thing to that, that's not good. Trump's not good either, but, like, it was better than that. So that's why I'm kind of like, oh, fucking hell, I don't know.
I'd love for Trump to get in, and I'd love for him to be really, really fucking tough on drugs in America.
And
like
that's
on the streets.
probably America's biggest problems for sure is fentanyl.
Yeah.
And it's difficult with America because their states have different policies on immigration, but in some states, immigration is shocking.
Yeah.
New York, oh my God. I've looked into immigration in New York. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I can't believe what they've been doing to New York. Jasmine went to New York fairly recently, and she said, "Holy shit! It's like a husk of what it was when she'd already been."
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'd pick, but the other thing, and I can't go in. I'm not going to go into all the conspiracy theories that much right now. We might do if we start talking about the shooter scenario. But if we believe the conspiracy theories around presidential candidates and things like that, then Trump is the better option. But if we also believe the conspiracy theories and Trump's the better option, we're 100% completely fucked anyway, and there's nothing anyone could ever do about it, so who fucking cares who you vote for, right? So all you can do is pretend that the conspiracies aren't real. Even if it really seems like they are, I'm going to be honest, it kind of really does.
It's just fucking weird. The whole thing from top to bottom is just fucking weird, isn't it?
It is.
It's like the dude, like, really shittily clambering up onto the roof, and, like, the people watching him going, hey guards, hey security, there's a guy right there.
Got a gun. It's actually quite a big, easy to see gun.
And then,
you're looking at him now. You're looking at him.
And then the security guards from New York, so he goes, "Hey, I'm walking here.
Hey, that slope's too steep. That sloped roof's too steep."
Okay.
Hey! They weren't in New York.
Doing the fucking Fonzie thing. Slaps a fucking...
He's got a slicked back hair and the beard.
Slaps a fucking jukebox that's like just there for some reason.
What song does it play? What's the one he does? Twist and shout.
Yeah, twist and shout. And then the shooter falls off the roof with his guns. He has to get back up.
You did it again, Fonz.
Fonz, my friend. You have saved me from this assassin.
Fonz for president. Fonz for president.
I am hereby dropping out of the race and endorsing the Fonz.
Now that is the other timeline. That would have happened.
That's the third branch.
Yeah. Because there was only three.
Loki's looking at that branch is like, I'm just going to snip that fucker off.
Yeah, so if the conspiracies are to be believed, it's not at a point where it's like, oh, they're all conspiracies, who cares? Yeah. It's at a point where it's like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Probably. But if it's to be believed, we're 100% fucked anyway. Don't matter who you vote. If you want to make the best chance, Trump's better out of them. But the thing is, you have to vote as if the conspiracies aren't real, because you've got no chance if they are real. So you just have to hope and pray they're not, even though, you know...
Yeah.
And then you have to vote as if they aren't real. So then you're left with the more kind of Kamala Trump. I don't know.
If this is all a weird ploy and it is a conspiracy theory type deal, do you think it's more likely that this was just like an assassination on Trump from Biden's corner, trying to kill him, or do you think it's more likely that this was some sort of bizarre publicity stunt from Trump?
It's not that. It's
okay.
not.
Do you think it'd be more likely to be?
But I mean, it could be an independent shooter.
But then, if you just typed in iconic Trump flag photo. You
have to type in Trump. I did it earlier.
Yeah,
I made a thumbnail.
It's like.
In fact, did I change that actually?
I think the one we have him being like scurried away by the shit security.
Yeah, I know, but the first thing that comes up is the one you're talking about. It's fucking bad.
I know.
It's really honestly, that's the picture I saw the next day when I googled it of him going. Oh, with blood in his face.
The flag's there perfectly in the background.
Oh my god! Like you can love him or hate him, but that was fucking bad.
I know, but that's the thing. It's like. That's such a perfect fucking shot. That's going to be one of the most iconic images for, like, all of history.
Yeah. Here's the thing, like, questioning as to whether that means it's a setup or not. Absolutely not. People were constantly taking photos of that event. Yeah. Any event that Trump is ever going to do. Constantly. If you see some Secret Service jump on him in your photography going, you're going to take infinite photos. Yeah. And there'll be like 50 of them doing it.
Yeah, okay,
so every moment of that is going to be captured. Absolutely. Plus, I 100% believe that Trump's the type of personality to be clipped on the ear, know he's fine. Because he weren't clipped and immediately started doing it. Yeah. He went, ducked down, Secret Service held him, they moved him on. Some other shit happened before. He knew he was fine at that point.
If you watch it, it actually looks like he gets clipped. And for a brief second, he almost like goes, who was that? He looks
I know, well, he goes,
like, huh? Yeah, and it's like, he like looks in the direction like, who the fuck? And then he is like a couple, he's like a couple more shots.
He looks kind of bored. He's like, I was saying something.
Yeah, I was getting to the chart.
So, yeah, it was just fucking badass. Yeah. Give him his props for being a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, being a badass about getting shot doesn't mean you're going to lead a country well, by the way. It means you can take a bullet well, is what it means. Although if it had hit him anywhere... Have you seen the mock-ups?
Of the trajectory of it. Like he literally just moves his head like that to look at a thing, and it's like... It was like literally a second before it was gonna go through there.
Yeah, it was like some shit out of Wanted.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable how lucky he was. And that's what contributes to the timeline feeling like it feels like we're in the wrong one.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like we're in the wrong outcome.
It should have happened. Yeah. It didn't. That's not me saying that, it should have been, you know.
Yeah, we wanted that.
It's like that we're in the alternate timeline that is going to get pruned by Loki and the fucking TVA.
Yeah, so onto the scenario, right then.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you've looked at a lot of stuff. You've probably seen videos on it. It's the type of thing I think you're more interested in. It is so it's a 20-year-old.
Yeah, he's
kid,
like
people have been saying, but I mean, fully grown adult. You know, you can't. Yeah. I don't want to use certain terminology and seem biased or something. 20-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Cross-dresser.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know if they identified as trans or not, but it seems like they did.
Yeah. I know that they were in a BlackRock video. Like BlackRock did a company sort of promotion video, and he happened to be in it, taking one of their classes. I don't know if that, I don't know what that says.
Yeah. But... So he visited the site beforehand when he knew it was going to take place there at some point. He had a drone to fly over and scout it and everything like that. He bought the gun for this, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't just own a gun or anything like that. So, knowing all that, that's kind of the most that we... I mean, a guy saw him climbing up, told the police he was climbing up there, and no one fucking did anything.
Yeah.
For beforehand, so kind of the pre-game, that's all we know about this guy. Obviously, liberal extremist, left-wing extremist.
The prologue for the shoot. The prologue.
So based off that, right, some people find that enough to find it a conspiracy and think, he was, bribed or, kind of almost semi-hired to kill Trump by Biden's end of things.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that so far?
No, I just seems
because there's more shit that changes stuff later. But
why would you put such? If you're gonna hire somebody, if you're gonna hire somebody to do a job, why the fuck are you gonna hire this 20-year-old that's never owned a gun, probably has barely ever even shot a gun? It was how many yards?
Devil's advocate in you then,
right.
Because if it does fail, it's a lot easier to cover up.
That's fair. Okay. I just don't know. I also just feel like it'd be a lot easier to get found out.
That were just devil's advocate in though, because I kind of more agree with what you were saying. And it's probably more risky. If you're going to try and assassinate a former president, why not choose someone who's from Cuba or something?
Yeah.
Who's a mercenary, something like that, who would also have plenty of reason to try and kill him anyway.
Yeah.
there's other better, more efficient killers that would also look like they were more than willing to be an independent shooter.
Also, it's like getting shot at a rally. Really? If you hire an assassin, that's what you're gonna get him to do? Not like just slip something in a drink or something? A lot cleaner, less witnesses?
Yeah. Well, devil's advocate on that then would be that, again, it's easier to pin on the shooter. Like, if the shooter does it and gets away with it, it's like, well, an independent gunman, he wanted to kill the president. Whereas if it's like something sneakier, where they managed to poison him, that is a lot, like, more only doable by Biden's team and inside and things like that. So,
or pin it on the Russians. Might accidentally start World War III. Might.
Yeah. So everyone would die then, and then no one gets to be president.
Well,
that would be the option of like the kid taking his bat and ball home when they're playing baseball or something. It's like, well, these are mine, so you're not going to play anymore.
Fuck this! I'm telling Dad.
So yeah, I think with that level of knowledge that we kind of the pre stuff, it looks more like just a radicalized independent shooter. And the fact that they were kind of in these really liberal communities, they are definitely the most kind of, I don't know how to frame it. I don't want to say violent towards Trump, because I suppose actually they're not violent, but like kind of virile and
I think
aggressive.
I'll just straight up say it. I feel like leftist groups in America are more violent than right groups in America.
Well, that's just a different thing in total. I mean, just like towards Trump.
Oh, okay. Well, I just think the more normally violent leftist groups. I feel like there's extreme right groups that can be more violent if they want to be. But I just feel like on the whole, the left are just more aggressive than the right.
I think it's perhaps, I don't know, but on that real quick, I think it's probably fairly even. But the right wing people who are violent, and I hate to frame it this way, are almost more effective.
Oh no, they are 100%.
In that they will fucking gun down some people, but they're also a bit more rare. Whereas there's like more left wing people who are violent, but they like might assault a few people.
Yeah,
you know, it kind of evens out that way. What's better, what's worse? Who fucking knows? You can't really determine that, can you? That's a different thing altogether. But what I will say is that, like, at this point, with what we know in the shooter details, what we've talked about so far, I think it's entirely possible that this kind of disenfranchised misfit who's fallen into these kind of liberal types of scenarios has got caught up in the politics end of it, which very much hates Trump, and has got carried away and wanted to kill him. That to me very much does seem like the most likely outcome at that point.
Yeah.
Until
it gets to the actual day, doesn't it? Like, and the whole thing,
and everything you find out about afterwards, because the whole thing of like everyone going, shooter, shooter's there, hello,
for like 3 minutes, for like a good.
No, it was at least 7.
Oh yeah, because that happened, and then the guy who was like across the way, who was like actually doing his job, their sniper was like, for a 3 whole minutes, I see this dude, can I take the shot?
So everyone, all the crowd knew about him for like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So the sniper spotted him after, so 4 minutes has gone by, crowd's all known about it 4 minutes. That's when sniper catches him.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Immediately, that's that. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Then 3 more minutes go by.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I know.
Like, how the fuck? You've literally got a scope. You've got a zoomed scope on a guy in military clothes and obviously has the crowd can see the rifle with no scope.
I know. But the thing is, the sniper was literally there saying down the thing, I see the shooter, can I take the shot? And they're going, no. Can't do it. Not allowed. And
I've not heard anything about that personally.
That's,
I'm not. I don't want to say that's wrong.
Okay. But that's what I have seen on the news and reported, is that the sniper for a good 3 minutes was there going, I need to take this shot. Let me do it. And they were going, nope. Which adds to the. It doesn't
even matter, does it? That's ridiculous.
I feel like that adds to the. That's weird, then, doesn't it? It's like, why are the higher ups saying no?
So that.
Yeah.
It just looked like a lot of people on the security, and it had to be a lot, it had to be, were like, just ignoring it. They were ignoring it. Now, you've got to, again, it basically comes down to 2 things. Sorry, my OCD's bothering me about how this desk's positioned, that's weird. it comes down to two things.
I'll take it out the equation. There you go.
Either all those people were somehow all incompetent at once.
Yeah.
All these trained professionals are now, half of them was American police. And I'm not going to even try and call them trained professionals. Because they're not. The amount of training American police get is fucking awful.
I know. I've seen. I don't even have to look at the training. I've seen the officers. The fucking butterball, fucking nasty, greasy bastards.
Did you see that clip? I think it were actually in UK, to be fair. You see that clip recently? Some guy, like, running up, some criminal fleeing. I think it was at a train station. And there's two officers following him. And then there's one, like, chubby officer. But, like, he was, like as fat as me. Like, running back. I couldn't keep up with him. This guy's still just going, you need to quit your job. He's like, you can't get shit.
God, I'm not surprised.
But it's true.
It's true. I watched another one recently, and this one might have been in the UK as well, but it was three women. It was like two women officers, and then another woman had done something, and they were like in the process of like putting the cuffs on her, and she slipped her arm free and started running off. She wasn't running fast at all. It was probably a jog, but then the two officers start chasing her, and they're jogging even slower than her. It's like it takes them like a full 5 minutes to like make the way down this street, and this guy's just like filming her.
But in America, I'm surprised they didn't just shoot her.
Yeah.
I literally saw a clip. It's on Reddit every day. I like a new thing every day. A clip of these two American police officers in this woman's house. She equality weren't good enough to know whether she were elderly, but she weren't young.
Yeah.
She were on her own in the house. And they were kind of asking for her ID, and she were trying to say some stuff. She were obviously like quite old school and religious with kind of the way she was phrasing it and stuff. She'd left some water on the stove, and it started boiling over while she was looking for this ID that she didn't think were even in this purse.
Yeah.
And police said, "Oh, you should probably go and turn that off, actually, because it's going to boil over and that."
Yeah.
So she goes to turn it off, and then the policeman goes and like scurries away from her when she goes to turn it off, and he like says, "Oh, you better not throw that boiling water at me," and I'm like thinking, "What the fuck? Like, why did you suggest that?" Like, and then she says, like, she looks at him like, "What the fuck are you suggesting that for?" And she says, like, "Man, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," or something like that for saying something so silly. Obviously, that was the context. So they draw their guns on it. How does that happen? Yeah. And I think the only theory it seems like people on Reddit could come up with was they think that maybe he thought she said shoot when she said rebuke.
Yeah.
So then they thought she might end up throwing boiling water on them. Yeah. Or she might shoot them with a pot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, American.
So they shot her in the head.
Yeah. Nice.
Insane. And we're lucky that one of them had their body cam on and audio on and everything as well, so we could hear it. Absolutely insane. Tangent, I suppose related to shooters and stuff anyway. But basically, massively incompetent, which, not surprising for the police, but for the Secret Service very much, and there was plenty of them about there. Or there was some other intention. Now, that's not it with the Secret Service, so one of the most crazy... Now, if you want some good coverage on this, some better coverage than us, let's be honest, True Geordie has been... You know who True Geordie is, don't you?
Did he try eating poop?
No. He had some DMs leaked once with a woman that he was sleeping with and wanted her to shit on his chest and stuff, and for some reason he got cancelled a bit for that.
They should have been cancelled for it.
I didn't that. The bit he got cancelled for again, though, after that was saying something about making some joke about Muslims blowing themselves up when Andrew Tate converted to be a Muslim. That was more justified. That was definitely more justified.
What, him being cancelled, not the comment?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you clarified that. In cancelling for like the making the Muslims blow themselves up joke, that was a lot. Yeah, that's definitely worse than being like, when I have sex, I like shit on my chest.
Yeah.
Fucking weird.
Yeah, no,
quite bad.
Like nasty
maybe check the hard drives a bit, but other than that, we'll get to that later with Kris.
Yeah.
So, Oh god.
No, I don't even know how to do a voice.
So the True Geordie did a video about this hearing for the leader of the Secret Service, who essentially was there to answer a bunch of questions. Oh, there's a motorbike outside. The shooter's here! Ah! There to answer a bunch of questions about why the fuck this even happened.
Yeah.
One of the excuses that blew my mind, that absolutely made her look fucking stupid, this leader, was one of the excuses the Secret Service gave for why they didn't go up so quickly was that it was a slanted roof and it'd be dangerous for them to go on. Now, I don't give a shit how slanted it is already. You're in the fucking Secret Service.
I know.
What? That's you're gonna be shot at. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the job.
It's literally your job is to be shot at on the president's behalf. That's the whole point. That's
hello? What the fuck are you talking about? You're a secret agent.
Yeah,
I know. I don't care how slanted a roof is.
I know. Do they think that, like, in the military, like a general's gonna be like, oh, I need you to go and do this, and his soldier's gonna go, too dangerous, pal. Not gonna do that.
I know exactly.
It's like what?
Unbelievable that excuse. Not done because you know the snipers that actually shot the shooter.
Yeah.
They were on a more slanted roof, 3 times as slanted as the roof the shooter was on. It can't make sense, that excuse in any way. Do you know why? In particular, it can't make sense. That slope was so gradual. It's classed as wheelchair accessible. A wheelchair user could have prevented this.
Jeez.
Someone with no legs
fucking Joe
could have solved this.
We need Joe Swanson on the case.
He would have been perfect.
Hey, Peter.
I took out the shooter.
I saved Trump, Peter. I'm a national hero.
It's insanity, and the same head of the Secret Service wouldn't talk about anybody who was involved. Wouldn't mention any names or hold anyone accountable who was involved in any part of that. Wouldn't mention any of the operatives that work in there. Wouldn't mention the person who signed off on that security detail being enough. Trump's own people contacted the Secret Service many, many times to get more security on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Just not even close to it. They didn't even answer. They didn't even try and acknowledge the request from a former president.
I know.
There's literally only one person, maybe two, that they should be considering Secret Service protection for over him, and that's Biden and Vice President, perhaps. I would even argue Trump and Biden right now in an election race are the number 1 and 2. If you had to pick number 1, I guess you'd pick the current president.
Yeah.
But fucking hell, you're gonna deny more? What?
Yeah.
Biden's like laid up in bed or some shit. You don't need protecting.
Yeah.
Put all of them on it. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So now, considering all of that, then you start to question it more, because to start with, it looked like most likely outcome, radicalized independent shooter. Now you're like, are all those Secret Service agents that incompetent, really?
To be fair, there has been a long history of incompetency from the Secret Service, such as one of their very first assignments was to protect Abraham Lincoln as he was watching a show.
It's too old.
You know, there's that. It's like
it's a completely different thing, though, isn't it?
It's like with fucking Roosevelt, when Roosevelt got shot basically in the lung. He didn't, because his sunglasses case caught it, and then he finished his speech.
And
but still, it's like, you know...
Reagan.
Yeah.
He was shot as well.
Yeah.
Look, the thing is, though, I don't necessarily think we should massively discredit the Secret Service throughout history from that. Perhaps we should. Like, we maybe should.
Yeah.
But I'm going to leave that there as well. But not necessarily, because there's going to be a shit ton of people that they did catch and did a great job with. Yeah. There's just so many people trying to kill that fucker.
Yeah.
Like, of course there is. It's the President of America.
Yeah.
Like, it's potentially most sought-after assassination there will ever be constantly. So the fact that it might be that they stop 1 million assassinations a year. And that might be an exaggeration as well, but what I'm saying is, just because some have happened in history, there's only been 2 successful ones, though, right? JFK and Lincoln.
Because Roosevelt was fine. He survived. He lived for the rest of his life, and Reagan was fine. So
I think that you can't count Lincoln, because it was just such a different era. It's not even close to even the same type of Secret Service.
I think the thing is with me is that the guy, it's because Mr. John got so fucking close to him is the thing that I consider it.
What, in Lincoln?
Yeah, because he literally walked into his booth and put the gun to his back and shot him.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is you can't use that Secret Service to compare to today's, because it's just not even close to a little bit like the same scenario. Secret Service now has to deal with drone strikes and shit.
But you'd think there'd be 2 people stood outside.
I know.
When the guy comes over, they're like, wait a second.
And that don't mean I'm excusing them either. I'm just saying that's not really relevant is all. So basically there's only one relevant success ever.
Yeah.
So that's a debate as to whether there's a long history of them being effective or not. What I will say is we know they weren't effective this time, and he didn't die, but that don't mean they were effective. And that's another thing, by the way. The leader of the Secret Service tried to say that they were effective.
Come on now.
He got shot.
Literally, you could not be any more ineffective.
Even if no shots had been fired, and they'd have caught the guy or killed him before he could even press a trigger, that's not effective. That's still not effective.
Yeah.
That's not good enough even. That's way too close. So the fact that there could be a gun within 5 miles of Trump, other than for the Secret Service to hold, is obscene. That's unbelievable. That's unreal. You know, if our gun laws, right? You know, if the Queen or the Prime Minister or something were going to go down Cudworth Road.
Yeah.
Or even go to Barnsley Town Centre, our dad would have to give his gun to the local gun association so that they can keep it away from him while a royal or a prime minister was anywhere even close to him.
Didn't know that's a thing they did.
Yeah, you can't have a gun anywhere near a royal. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it makes sense, but yeah.
You just can't do that. You can't own a gun there.
Yeah,
it's not allowed. And of course it's not. I know you didn't know it, but it makes sense though.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. But I know that probably somewhere in the world now there's some American that's gritting his teeth until they snap and bleed, and it's like, you can't take our guns from us.
I know, but it's not like suggesting that. And I know it's different in America in the gun culture, whatever. But basically, what we know is someone who's not Secret Service should be able to get a gun anywhere near Trump.
Yeah,
that's not ridiculous to say. So what we're left with then is either beforehand seems like most likely independent radicalized shooter. Now that we've seen mass incompetence or purposeful negligence from Secret Service, that then is are we to believe that the most powerful country in the world's most trained agents that they have are actually that incompetent? If they are, fucking terrifying already. And something needs to be done about that. If not, this is definitely a conspiracy, and they maybe could have even been working with the shooter.
Which is potentially even more scary.
No, that's not even scary. It's so bad that you can't even try and be scared about that. We're all dead. It's just not even something.
We're on some Hail Hydra shit now, boys.
It's just there's no. It's like I was saying earlier. If the conspiracy is to be believed, probably are to be believed. Then and you know what? It don't mean that we're fucked now from now on. We've been fucked for about 1,000 years.
Yeah. It's just been fucked from the start, which is kind of how I've always looked at it anyway. Because it's the people at the top are going to make their decisions, and it's what is it that Charlie says on Smiling Friends? You and me, Pim, were something that I like to call peons.
I don't know, but Gleps are chilling up there. And so, I don't know. Have you any more thoughts on this? I think it's pretty.
Really,
I think we summarised it pretty well.
Fucking weird. And America, get your shit together because you're looking nasty as fuck right now. Like
Right now, for the past 4 years, they've looked horrific.
I know, they're looking fucking like dirty. Like you were a high school sweetheart, but like 5 years have gone past since we graduated, and now you're a meth head, and you look fucking nasty.
Yeah,
it's like we'll go hang out.
Name and shame person from our high school who's that?
No, I don't actually know anyone who's a meth head.
To be fair.
So
just like
because I tell you why. Because we don't live in America. If we lived in America, we'd have about 10.
Yeah, but what would be the drug in England, though?
It'd be
cocaine,
or
maybe spice.
Spice, yeah, spice. But I don't know anybody that...
Aren't we lucky, though, that we don't have a fentanyl problem here, though? Holy shit, seeing the fentanyl problem there is insane.
Because that means more fentanyl for me. Yummy, yummy.
You surely, like, even if you were into drugs, you would, like, not even...
No.
Honestly, if I was into drugs, I'd see that and think, fuck
no,
off.
of course. It's like...
And same with, it's like heroin as well, isn't it? It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, even druggies are like, oh, the heroin guys, though.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Yeah.
So, basically, it could have been an independent radicalised shooter, but there's a lot of negligence, and that suggests some other stuff as well.
Yeah. For me, it's the guy who had the shot on him and for 3 minutes was told no. That is the weirdest part of me.
So when it comes to people who are like this guy, do you think that suggests anything about certain cultures or anything like that? I'm literally talking about, queer community and that, because that they were engaged in, or even just not even separate from that. Just liberal kind of communities. Do you think that this suggests anything about those or not?
I think it was the Sonic the Hedgehog community.
Okay, Judd's going to go with a joke then instead of answering.
I don't.
Judd, we did the poop jokes and everything earlier.
Do you know hedgehogs shit as they run?
Yeah, I saw that YouTube short earlier too.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a YouTube short. I saw it's like a Facebook meme.
Oh, was it Pirate Software?
No, I don't think.
He's a cool streamer guy. But people keep hedgehogs as pets, and they give them like a hamster wheel because they have to.
Oh no, I have seen that video. Because
they do loads of. They run like 15 kilometers, and then they just like shit in the hamster wheel and clog it all up. Fucking stupid hedgehogs. They are fast though. They have to do 15k a night.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Anyway, so what I'm trying to get at with that is that obviously the right-wing bit of this kind of political part of it, because it is political. I mean, a president was involved. A big part of that is like these trans queer weirdos, these liberal fucking strange fucking cucks or whatever. They're like this. That he represents them all. Now, calm down.
Yeah.
Probably not. Like, come on. It's like he's the version. He's their Kyle. What's his face?
Rittenhouse?
Yeah, because he was very right wing and shot a bunch of people as a result.
Yeah, but no, he didn't shoot people because of a result of him being right wing. It was during the riots, and he shot somebody who was going to like bash him over the head with a skateboard.
Is that all? To be honest, I don't actually know a lot about it.
He didn't go on like a shooting spree.
But there is some, right wing shooters who have done that.
Yeah, I watched
so he's just one of them.
Yeah,
like you can't be on Trump's side of that and say, these trans people, all the queers, they're likely to do this shit. See, this one did it, and also like say that you're not likely to do that then, because there's been people like you that's done that too.
Yeah,
it's not that. It's just really not that.
I just think it's Americans. I'm not even. I'm not it's even a bit. Like, I genuinely feel like it's just Americans. I just feel like they're too aggressive. Can I be racist? Can I be racist to Americans? Because
are Americans a race?
I don't know. I'm just gonna say it. I genuinely think Americans, on like a person-for-person basis, are stupider than the rest of the world.
Well, being part of Europe, kind of. I mean, Britain. But being kind of part of Europe, it seems silly, doesn't it? Their gun attitude. It seems.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
People have to realise it's a different place and a different culture. It'd be like asking France to not have cheese.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. It'd be like asking us to not have tea.
It's not just
and we
guns,
don't even drink
though.
tea.
It's like anything Americans have an opinion on. They're always just so fucking violent and like loud about it. It's like Shut up. Calm down.
And what it is, it's the American culture. It's not
Yeah.
the American race. That's not the other thing. It's just a culture. Now, the culture's tied to Americans and where they were born, so that's where you can, I guess, be racist in a way. I mean, it's like thinking that... Another motorbike's going past, great. We can't close the window because it's too hot. It's like saying, I don't like Asian people because their attitudes to meat that they will eat is more extreme than I'd like. So I don't like Asians. So to say I don't like Asians, racist, right?
Yeah.
But if it's because you think their culture is really negatively bad towards animals, that could be a reasonable justification with some other cultures' morals. So it's kind of that sort of thing, what you're saying. I'm not saying... None of what I've just said is what I believe. I'm just giving examples and what some people could say.
But what you're saying is that we should wipe away all previous cultures and histories and just have one flag, and I should rule the world.
Fine.
All right.
I'd be all right with
That sounds a lot of fucking work.
But,
I'm not going to do it.
we're gonna have to cut down the population for that to be doable. How many people are you willing to?
Anyway.
How many people are you willing to rule?
I don't know. Maybe.
And we're going to do it Thanos style, at random.
Maybe like 20.
Okay.
Maybe like 20 guys.
So that's probably not. I'm not probably going to be there.
No.
So can you manage that without? Can you manage without me?
I think so.
No.
I'll just be like to the first guy.
Should do this podcast without me. Even now, I've literally even started it, and you couldn't.
Oh god. So, Mr. V's friend is pedo. Yeah, well, let's talk about that.
Do. At least we're Rhett and Link's left, so they can help you out.
Oh god, yeah.
No. God.
They're here.
Rhett and Link, they're here. Doing Rhett and Link impression.
You do them.
Howdy, I'm American.
Yeah, that's it.
And you are too.
And I'm stupid because I'm an American.
I like guns. No, we know that they're not all like that. We're joking. It's all joke. We literally started the show with jokes to make this very clear, and I promise this will get more dislikes than likes. I mean, the thumbnail alone.
Oh, no, that's a great thumbnail. I think people will like that.
I know what you mean with American culture, though. Yeah. They're over hopped up on guns and freedom. Just to phrase it like that sounds like I'm joking, but it's true.
Yeah, I guess a bit. I mean, I like guns. I have a gun. I love guns. It's just like, I don't know. We don't have.
You have a clay pigeon shooting.
Yeah, I do. But
if you were to try and be a mass shooter with that, you might get one person. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't think. I think I'd completely miss. But you can get like semi-automatics over here that have like a decent round. Like
you can, but a lot of them can't legally be kept like yours is kept, because it's obviously a clay pigeon shooting gun. If you've got, it's like a pistol, for example. My granddad's got a pistol just across the road, but it's a decommissioned one. Yeah. So it's been like drilled through, so it can't work. Yeah. But it did work at one point. But then because he didn't want to have to leave it at a gun range, he wanted to just have it as a memento. Yeah. He had it decommissioned because you have to. He didn't just do it because he wanted to. Yeah. You would have to. If you're going to have like I think maybe pistols there's some leniency on in our country. I've not looked into this massively, but like rifles, you can't own a rifle in your house. You can't in the UK. Legally, you can't. That has to be kept at a gun range. Yeah. And you have to, like, rent a space for it at a gun range and things like that. And obviously the gun range has to be licensed to hold. Different gun ranges can only hold different types, so your local one might not be able to hold your AR-15. Weird that's like the iPhone of guns in America. Yeah. Like if someone's got a gun, it's probably an AR-15. Yeah. Weird.
It's even got to the point where like somebody will see a gun and they'll shout, "Oh, they've got an AR-15." It's just not. It's just like an AK.
It's like an M4 or something like that. Yeah. Do you know what is also weird? It's explainable, but like, you know, as boys, we know too many real guns. Like, I could probably have told you what sniper it was. Yeah. If I was there, I'd have gone, "Oh, he's got an L4A1."
like, don't worry, Trump, it's got shit bullet drop. it's like
He's not got FMG perk.
I know, I play Call of Duty.
I'll just hold my hat in front of my face.
Yeah.
It doesn't have bullet penetration perk.
Watch this no scope.
He pulls out a Glock. Because I know that one too.
Yeah.
Or an M1911.
Yeah.
FAMAS.
We can keep going. I like the AUG. It's a funky,
I love the AUG. That's what I was trying to think of.
It's a funky looking thing in it, like space weapon.
That Belgian gun as well. Belgian.
Oh god, this isn't even on the docket. We're just talking
FN 2000.
That's anything that's got a bullpup just looks fucking.
Oh, this one. This is the one.
Yeah.
What's this one?
Is it
P?
What the fuck?
P something.
Scroll down, it might say.
P90.
P90.
P90. P90.
FMP90. Yeah.
Belgians make some cool guns. Oh shit, we're becoming Americans.
Oh no!
Oh, look, a musket.
Maybe they're onto something. Maybe they know what they were talking about right there. That's Israeli.
We're not doing that one today. We're not doing that one. Although I've been rewatching Inside Job, and I nearly sent you a clip because you know the dolphin military guy.
Yeah.
It's the episode where like one of them's going to be fired, and the main woman has to fire one of them. And the dolphin guy goes, I solved the Israeli-Palestine conflict for you, but I can put it back if you want. I was like,
They predicted it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's basically the Trump shooting thing gone on about. Don't blame communities that the shooter was in for them being a shooter. Blame the shooter for trying to kill someone. That's what's happened.
Yeah.
So some shooters tried to kill someone, blame them, and then if you like, look at the incompetence of the Secret Service and put some sus on them, if you like.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That's the summary, isn't it? Speaking of sus, ooh boy, Mr. Beast Kris was acting sus, aka Ava.
What is going on with nonsense? What's happening?
Wow. Well, so do you mean do you know what's happened at all? Then
I have heard that Ava Kris has been messaging people.
We're gonna go with Kris because from what I've seen, he's still happy to be called Kris. He's Ava Kris Tyson is the full name.
I see.
I think changed the spelling of Kris, but regardless, we're gonna go with Kris because in the timeline of what's happened, he'd not transitioned.
Right now
in some of it, and was known as Kris then. Still kind of happy to be known as Kris now. Just easier to use. Kris.
All right.
So we're going to go with Kris. Do you want me to just go through a recap of everything that's happened?
Do the whole thing. I've only got the gist of it. I've only got his gist on my kid.
Oh god! Fucking hell! Oh god! I was trying to think about where to start, and then I quickly went, "What do you say?" with my brain, and then I went, "Oh no!" So I'm trying to think of where's the best place to start. I suppose. So when this broke, right, it was my day off work. I have every other Wednesday off, and it broke on a Tuesday night UK time. And I went downstairs to my girlfriend. I went, well. The drama has started. Buckle in, because she knows nothing to do with this world, but she wanted to know this drama that I'd kind of told her about. So I had to start right at the beginning of who Mr. Beast even was. Yeah. Before he was famous and stuff.
Which is surprising because I feel like he's quite a household name, Mr. Beast.
Oh, she fully knows who he is now.
Oh, okay,
absolutely knows who he is now. But it's more how did he become Mr. Beast, you know? So for this purposes of this, we don't have to go through all that, but we know that at a certain point, the Mr. Beast crew and a bunch of his friends were a big part of his videos. I think one of the biggest it started with him counting to 100,000. He said Logan Paul a bunch of times, helped PewDiePie out, blew up, and then his kind of viral ball rolling started there when he started doing amazing kind of challenge videos. Lost to Leave the Circle, I think, was kind of one of the first ones. And that's when the crew was involved. Kris was involved. So when he did all these videos, we've all seen them. It's literally got fucking hundreds of millions of views. When he did ones that revolved any sort of survival aspect to it, like surviving in the wilderness or something, Kris was always the rugged, like, scout guy. Like, he was the one who set up the tent and made the fire and all that shit. I remember there being a video where I think it was just that he gave his friends $100,000 to spend in an hour or something like that, or in, I don't know, however many hours. And it was split between them, so Kris got about 30 grand or something like that. And I just distinctly remember Kris not going anywhere to these shops because he needed to buy, like, a fence for his dogs and his family that he was wanting to start with his wife, who he'd married very young. They're from North or South Carolina, I can't remember which one. But that's the culture there. They're quite religious, and I don't know if he's religious specifically or Mr. Beast is or whatever, but I know those areas of America are quite I forget which type of Christian it is, because Rhett and Link used to be that type of Christian. It doesn't matter anyway. So that's why they marry quite young, whatever. So we know Kris has got a wife already, and he's planning a family. Kris starts a family. You know, he's the first of them to have a kid, by a long way, actually. Then Kris starts slowly just kind of, like, looking a bit different in the videos, and people are like, Kris looks odd, like, you know, and it's kind of, and then eventually, obviously, Kris is like, I'm a woman. Then that immediately, obviously, is going to create some backlash and controversy. It's a debated topic. I don't think it's worth us commenting on that. I don't think it's really relevant to the scenario at this point, at least. Anyway, maybe later it is, but right now it doesn't really matter. So that happened. You got big profile people such as Nick Merckx. He gets about 20k viewers on his live stream regularly, denouncing that sort of thing, being like fucking, basically saying like, you've abandoned your family to go off and pretend to be a woman, type of you know, responses to it. Now, there was a lot of kind of pictures, evidence, and things like that to suggest that Kris had not abandoned his family and still went to milestones for his kid and stuff like that. And
that my takeaway from it was that his wife outwardly seemed like she was very supportive of it, and like she was okay, like she wasn't in a.
I don't think there was a lot of outwardly from her to happen.
Yeah,
because she's not interested in being an internet-known woman or anything like that. So far as, like, outward support can come from someone who doesn't use the internet, basically, an infamous video happened from Sunny V2. See, it was titled... in fact, I'm going to see if it's still up. Let's check this. I think it'll still be up. This creator just didn't acknowledge the controversy. Copyright claims. It's not the most viewed video. It probably would have been, though. It might have been taken down.
Oh, I've seen this guy's stuff before.
Yeah, I'm subscribed. Oh no, it's still up. It's just not one of those videos. Basically saying, they've changed the title. So now, Sunny V2's video says, how will the Kris Tyson situation impact Mr. Beast? I reckon they've changed that for the new stuff coming out. What it used to say was something like Mr. Beast Kris will be Mr. Beast's nightmare or something. Use the word nightmare.
I think I remember like seeing that video come up.
So Mr. Beast basically said, "Look, I don't give a shit. Kris is my friend. Still gonna be in the videos."
Yeah.
Fair enough. Pretty good response. Yeah. Even if, right, so if that were us, and we make content and stuff like that, if you decided the same thing as Kris did, whether I agreed with that or not, whether I thought it was the best thing for you or not, I still think I'd be like, well, I don't want to, like, not do anything with you, you know? Like, so... makes sense to me as well. I think that all makes sense. So that happened. That was kind of the extent of that controversy. Sunny V2, I think, let's look at the dislike ratio on this, because you can still dislike things. It weren't a great dislike ratio to say that dislikes are not meant to exist anymore. I've got a plugin on my browser that shows dislikes still. Nearly half of the votes on the video to say dislikes are meant to be disabled on YouTube.
Why so many?
Because saying negative thing about trans person.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Nowadays, that's the default answer. Now, again, I'm not saying whether that's right or not. What I'm saying is that is what tends to happen now.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with that. So that's the pre-game, like we did with the Trump scenario. Long podcast, by the way. Well over now.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen. We're not even close to being done. So what's come out? This fella was 20 now, but has said, kind of, he's not accused, but he kind of accidentally came out that he was in a Discord channel with Kris years ago, and he mentioned some of the things that Kris had said in the Discord channel. Now, whoever he mentioned it to or whatever were like, whoa, what the fuck? Because he was 13, this guy, when the things were said. Now, the things that were said in the Discord channel, there was... No, it went... Well, there was some stuff sent in the Discord channel that were inappropriate, but the stuff that that I've heard about in the videos that I've seen, mainly on the Moist Critical video, going to be honest, it's pretty much all my info's come from that. They weren't actually from that Discord channel. Some stuff were sent in that, so we know that underage people are sent in the Discord channel. But also, this guy who came out... God, he's here.
Oh, that was late. He was late on that one. Yeah, come in.
Who is it?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's
he's here.
Critical.
It's Charlie here.
It's me,
I don't know why everyone's blaming me for not commenting on the Kris situation. I literally fucking talked about it literally the second it came out, and you're all fucking stupid.
That is true, by the way. Like, everyone like, why aren't you talking about this, but you talked about that? He literally did. Like, immediately. I don't know why they were like that. It's so dumb. Anyway, back to it. So, some other stuff that was said to this victim. I'm saying victim in quotation marks because the victim doesn't believe they were a victim. They said, I don't feel like I was groomed or anything. I think it was just kind of like jokes and stuff. And yeah, they might have been inappropriate for me being that age, but they don't feel victimized. Yeah. So that's why I kind of, if they felt victimized, I'd be saying the victim straight up. But because they don't feel victimized, I don't want to kind of like put victim on them if they don't want to be. So I'm saying victim in quotations. So the victim had private interactions. Well, they're public ones. So a public Twitter reply from Kris said something like, "Oh, but I sent you some fire-ass nudes," and Kris hadn't. But like, you can't say nudes to a 13-year-old. Like, you can't even say the word nudes slightly close to a 13-year-old in case they might hear it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, that's not appropriate at all. Like, not even close. Yeah. Another thing. Private Snapchat message, I don't know how private it was, but at least they definitely knew the 13-year-old could see it, was where Kris, still a man at this point, had like an American flag behind them on the ceiling or whatever, and it were obviously a large American flag, and he's like making like a fucking weird face, and caption on the Snapchat says, "Coming for America." Very funny.
Yeah,
but don't send that to a 13-year-old, obviously. Like, come on! So, like, those were the inappropriate messages. Now, we've heard another creator sending inappropriate messages to a minor recently.
Yeah.
But we'll deal with that after. Yeah. No, you're not. Don't knock on the table and pretend he's turned up. Okay, you can do it.
I can't do his voice, so he's not here.
So that's step one.
Yeah.
Because that kind of came out, people are like, okay, noms, and then look into some other stuff that might have happened. So, I want to talk about the legality of what I've talked about already, but we'll get onto legality as well later because I had an argument with someone on Twitter. So the other part, the potentially is more than these two things I'm going to mention, but these are the ones I know about and should be plenty.
Yeah.
So the other part is, I might get this name slightly wrong. Have you heard about someone called Shadman?
Shadman, I know Shadman. Yeah.
Right.
Personally.
Do you know what? Oh
no, I don't know Shadman.
Okay, cancel.
He was a guest on this. I'm showing. Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah,
that's really bad.
I'm showing everybody, for the people who can't see, my sleepy cabin tattoo. Yeah, he was a guest and friend of the podcast for a while, until, well, you know. Well, you know.
That'd be enough for me to be like, ooh, might get this removed.
No, well, he wasn't like a part of it. He just
I know.
came on,
I'd have looked at it and gone, you shoulda.
Nah.
But then
It's
probably
like-
would have not, to be fair.
It's-
But I mean, at least most people won't know that as well. So
It's more like if like a nonce who was a singer like collaborated with your favorite band. Like, you know, I'm not gonna
they
start
featured.
I'm not gonna hate on my favorite band.
If my favorite band then found out that and denounced them, then I'd be completely cool with it.
Yeah, which they did.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
So regardless, so Shadman, for those who don't know, mostly, well, they're an artist.
Yes.
Artist drawings, things like that.
Yes.
They mostly do what's called lolly.
Well, it wasn't mostly, but he was known for it. He was definitely known for it, and did a lot of it. Like,
Yeah, so they're most.
yeah.
I would say mostly. I don't. Well, anyway, it don't matter. Do you want to describe what lolly is while I take a fat
Oh
piss?
God!
'Cause
Why the fuck do I have to describe what?
Well, it's your top thing, isn't it?
No, it's not my type of thing. So lolly. I believe the full word is lolita. Come from, I think the Japanese translation is like young love. It's basically it's little girls. It's little girls. Say again. No, it is. Lolita is little girls. No. No, because you're thinking of Shota, which is little boys. See, this is my thing. no, I'm kidding. But yeah, so he basically he drew. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the words, but he drew mild corn. Yeah, mild corn. They get that, don't they?
Well, I mean, he at least drew something that rhymes with mild corn.
Yeah, he drew.
No, we can say child porn. It's fine.
Oh, can we? We're allowed to say. I thought I didn't know if we'd be allowed to say that.
No, but like before that, what I mean is what you kind of technically almost legally got away with, which is it's such on the boundary of legally.
Yeah.
Is potentially the other word you mentioned, where it's like he would draw fictional characters that look like young girls, like 7-year-old girls, but technically, because they've given a story to that fictional character, which means they're like. The stereotype is a 1,000-year-old vampire.
Yeah, no, you're talking about like the age regression shit, where it's like for some reason they're in the body of a child, but they got the mind.
Well, it's not a body of a child. Yeah. It's just that it acts and looks like the body of a child, but they're actually 1,000-year-old creature.
Jesus Christ!
That's the type of thing that
just
was kind
of
the main thing.
Kids.
I know. The fact that that's like just about legal, is insane.
Yeah,
like. No. It's like, oh god. Like, I honestly, like, if someone told me that they even like were in a community that had a bit of any of that involved, I'd go, well, no.
Yeah, no.
No.
It's like the meme of the SpongeBob meme of the fucking sea shark, and like they've drawn that circle in the sand, and like the sea shark's like looking at this circle in the sand, then looking at them. It's like, oh, I get you if this circle wasn't drawn in this sand. Like, it's such a fucking flimsy
I do
little.
not understand that reference at all.
Yeah, oh come on! It's like, oh, I don't know, man.
I think I know it. I think
yes, yeah.
We've literally even had an encounter with this where one of our viewers years ago was talking about someone. I'm not going to talk about him that much. Basically, someone he knows who was underage themselves wanted a body pillow of a character in that type of thing.
Yeah,
who technically wasn't an underage child, but they were ogre that was 500 years or whatever. Who fucking knows? And we went, nah. The question was, should I allow this to happen? Should I be okay with it? What? And we went, no.
Yeah, we both pretty resoundingly immediately went, no, man. No, fuck
it's like,
that.
we kind of thought, well, it's not going to have any legal implications, but not a good road to go down at all. No. Like really not good. So Shadman's known for that.
Yeah.
They would be most known for that, apart from the other thing they did, involving Keemstar.
Yeah. I thought you were going to talk about the other thing that Shadman did, but yeah, okay, all right. We'll talk about that thing.
Well, you can do that one after.
I don't really know that one, to be honest, but talk about what he did with Keemstar's little baby girl.
The line that got 100% massively crossed was when Shadman drew Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter in a sexual scenario.
Yeah.
So that now is very illegal.
Yeah.
Like, that is purposefully drawing someone who exists in real life who's underage sexually.
Yeah.
That's gone into child porn, that has now. Like, not even close. Definitely. Undebatable. So, that's who Shadman is. So,
can I tell you what the picture is? No, it's off because it's
what, the Keemstar one?
of Keemstar's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? So. I mean, it's obvious. It's very sexually suggestive, but she's got a mic like this one, and she's sucking it off like a dick, basically. So it's not a sexual act,
And
but
that's where, like, you maybe could.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the circle in the sand.
I'm talking an atom's worth of maybe being legal.
Yeah.
If you could say she's just tasting the microphone.
The microphone fell in her mouth.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No jury. If it was put to a jury, no one would say that. But if it was just put towards laws,
that's not me saying that excuses anything. By the way, I was just saying that's the context of the picture.
Actually, on that point, just the inappropriate messages is already plenty to not be okay with this at all. So that's what Shadman did, and not just that. That was just the most infamous one.
There was other real life people he'd do pictures of. I think Millie Bobby Brown was one.
Even more sexual scenarios.
There was one of her who. In Logan, do you remember the little girl who was like X something?
I didn't know all this because I so am disconnected from people who would be into that I just didn't. I heard about who Shadman was from this scenario. So the reason why we say that is because Kris had been. I don't want to be as strong as saying that Kris was a fan of Shadman, but definitely had interacted with Shadman on Twitter positively, and also was proven to own Shadman artwork.
I know. I was just going to say, I saw this.
Lolly artwork.
Just one of his prints. Yeah, I saw.
No.
Not one.
No, as in real life. They own child porn, basically.
Yeah. But he had it like as a print, like it was
Kris
something that
had child porn on his wall.
Yeah.
He's a long story short of that. Now that, like, we can talk about how inappropriate you would find an edgy joke to a 13-year-old. Personally, already really, really bad. Definitely don't condone. Just, like, whether I think that should be illegal or not, I would be more torn on, but I'm not sure I would be massively against it. Definitely hate it. But this bit, having child porn, put him in jail! Fucking hell! That's not even a question, right? Surely! Come on!
Yeah.
Like, what? There's no debate there now. Surely. Holy fuck. So that's where that goes. Now, there's aftermath discussions about this, isn't there? In that, like, one of the weirdest, most volumetric narratives around this is a bunch of popular creators saying, why is no one talking about this? To the extent that people talked about Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
Now, I don't understand where that's coming from. This feels as big as... as many people have talked about this as Dr. Disrespect, perhaps even more.
I don't think it's gone on long enough for me to really have noticed. Like, so I just feel like the Dr. Disrespect thing's become more of a meme just because it's had more time to be a meme.
Yeah, I suppose more memes have been made around it, but what I'm saying, I'm talking about people. They're talking about the big creators' response,
the coverage,
and whether they're disavowing these people or not. I'm trying to act like people are not disavowing Kris to the same extent as they did Dr. Disrespect, even though there's a hell of a lot more evidence. And I just don't... It doesn't seem like that's true, personally. It seems like it's been pretty even to me. I don't know. I don't think you participate in these circles as much as I do and look at the news of these things as much as I do. But what impression have you got on that? Do you think that
I'm always a part of nude circles. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay. I'm going to turn the stream lights on. I don't know. I just think I think it's a bit silly. And maybe, like, initially, it wasn't... Like, maybe they weren't quite as quick on the uptake.
Yeah.
But it definitely has been commented on as much. I think that's odd. the other thing was, Mr. Beast didn't comment on it for like a full day at least.
Well, I mean, yeah, come on. Yeah, no, you got to give him a 24-hour sort of.
Yeah, and people were kind of being like, you know, oh, Mr. Beast needs to comment on this. Why has he not commented on it yet? And that. It's like, I understand that people like are desperate for. You don't have to blow your nose right now in here. I understand that people are like, Mr. Beast has to comment on this. Yeah, he does. He absolutely does. But like, of course he's going to take some time to figure out everything that's going on, give everyone their due diligence, and make a good response as a result of it. That's what a reasonable, good person would do. Move it.
What a wealthy businessman would fucking do.
So what he did say, so Kris actually made a statement first, saying, "Would you like to read?"
No, you read for Ava.
No, you can read.
No, you read for Ava.
You read it.
I would like to apologise for any of my past behaviours or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Not a bad statement for a paedophile. Okay. Because that's what I'm absolutely willing to label Kris as. That there's not a chance that you can own child porn and not want to fuck a child. Yeah. Like, that's the only reason to own child porn. There's literally can be no other reason, unless you're a child porn confiscator in the police. Those are the two people. Those are the only two people, right? 50.2 million views, by the way, from one tweet. Just read the other replies, because obviously Kris has replied to themselves more.
Here's where I feel like it immediately falls apart. I want to add, I never groomed anyone.
Yeah. Now, again, the guy that like was groomed, because that's what it was, claims that they say, I don't feel like I was groomed. And I guess, you know, fair enough, but like, that don't mean you weren't. Just because the person wasn't. Yeah. Like, and now, do you know what? If I'm going to be 100% honest, technically, they might not have been groomed. Because, here's why. When Kris owned the child porn, that was after the inappropriate messages were sent. So, that doesn't mean that Kris was sexually interested in children at the point when those inappropriate messages were sent. So that doesn't mean that the intention was to groom someone. Technically. That's the best I can say about that, because it really probably does mean that. Like, really heavily probably does mean they were trying to groom it, whether Kris knew or not. Because as a groomer, you don't have to be aware that you're actively trying to groom someone. Yeah. You can just be doing it because you feel like it, and not be aware that that's grooming. Anyway. Yeah.
The person who who gets brought up in these accusations and then straight up at them, which I don't know. I know they will have come out and vocally supported them.
Yeah, they came out on Twitter already. It's not like...
Yeah, I know, but I feel like Kris has got such a big platform, and then they're going, here's a direct link. I don't know.
I think they were already going to be seen anyway.
It's vocally supported that they are false. Having said that...
So that's the thing.
Go on then.
No, they didn't. They didn't say that the accusations were false. Yeah. They just said they didn't feel negatively impacted by them. What they did was they confirmed the allegations were true and that they were cool with it. But that don't mean it's okay.
What he just said there is that he was groomed, but he liked it. That's probably too much.
Well, me, kind of.
Having said that, I humbly apologise to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. You got anything to say about that? Mm-mm. Okay. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behaviour extended beyond my bad edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen.
I've got something to say about that, you fucking pedophile. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah. That's absolutely, completely avoiding accountability for something that's straight up fucking true. Yeah. Let's forget about the child porn for a sec. Really hard to do that, I'm going to be honest. It doesn't matter. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behaviour extended beyond bad, edgy jokes. They absolutely extended beyond bad, edgy jokes because you were saying bad, edgy jokes that were incredibly inappropriate to children, you fucking pedo. Honestly, I could strangle the life out of the cunt. You cannot be that awful of a pathetic being and try and be like, it was just bad, edgy jokes.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Absolutely. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Beheading. Saudis would have a field day with this cunt. Honestly.
Let's get him over.
Anyway.
In past years...
I didn't actually... I've never read that bit, actually. That really pissed me off.
In past years, I have learnt that my old humour is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. They all say the same fucking thing, don't they?
Do you know what? They can't change who they was,
No.
but they can continue to work on themselves.
But you can chop bits of yourself off. Anyway.
Such as the head, you know, or maybe scoop the heart out or something.
I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why I have stepped away.
You've stepped away because you don't want people to fucking accuse you of shit. You don't want some limelight. This
next reply comes from a man who is simply titled Canadian, and his response is, "You belong in jail."
Yeah. Scarboil is the next one that says, "Prison for you, pedo."
Yeah. Demon X says, "Hey Kris, I hear you like I'm young." That was like
they seem weirdly supportive.
That was a Kendrick Lamar.
But if you don't know that yeah.
I heard you like I'm young.
Yeah.
You better never go to cell block 1.
Yeah, I saw a funny edit using that song about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, absolutely, like, honestly, terrible apology.
Yeah.
Like, some elements of it were, you know, fine. I kind of am okay with actually saying that, you know, they don't want it to impact Mr. Beast and people who work there, and that's all. There's some bits that it could be okay. It feels like almost virtue signaling to say, focus on my family and mental health. If Kris was actually interested in supporting his family, I don't know what to say without getting cancelled. A lot of what's happened wouldn't have happened. Let's just leave it at that. Absolutely wouldn't have happened. So Kris just came out with a statement first. Which is fair enough, I suppose. I mean, all the flames are going to be...
If I'm going to read this, I will read it, that Mr. Beast's response, but you have to put on that fucking royalty-free music that he has in his videos.
Royalty. Oh, I was going to do royalty-free, like, news music to start off, but I forgot that.
Right.
Mr. Beast. Royalty-free Mr. Beast music.
Yeah.
Is it this one? Well, this is an advert for a start.
Okay.
We've got a 20-second advert.
you gotta wait 20 seconds for the really funny bit that's about to happen, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, so obviously, weirdly, Mr. Beast's statement has less views than Chris's. But I mean, it came out a day later. I mean, it's nearly caught up.
Yeah,
in
it's
views.
a day later.
Which we'll read. I mean, I suppose there's too much to talk about. There's a really funny tweet that shows a thumbnail saying, Mr. Beast's new video. I hired 100 lawyers to save my friend Ava from paedophile. Is it this?
Oh, is it playing?
Is it this? Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, right, okay.
I have to read it like that as well.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegation of Ava Tyson's behaviour online, and I'm disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts.
That's a good impression.
During that time, there's a big clock. There's a big clock. I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast! Says something in the background. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation, and I will take any further actions based on their findings. So let's talk to the contestant. That's great. That's a great bit.
In box number 1 is Ava.
Ava.
And in box number 2
Child.
is... Oh, God. Ava's like slobbering on the box. Fucking hell. So, like, I don't know. What do you think of that response?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, like, I just... It's just saying, look, I don't want this person to have anything to do with me or my company.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
I've supported them before. This is very different.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think it's good. I mean, some people are not happy with that. I mean, the top comment says, "We warned you. You didn't listen. You deserve to be cancelled." I think that's ridiculous. I mean, the next comment that someone replying to that says, "Did one bad cancel out 10,000 good deeds?" So that's another point. Yes, though, because under that people are saying, "Hello, Jimmy Savile." Fucking like, so yeah, so that second comment's ridiculous, but it's like, we warned you, you didn't listen, you deserve to be cancelled. Like, you warned him of something that hadn't happened yet, like, or no one knew about yet.
Yeah, I
it's
feel
silly.
I feel
all
like
that we knew so far is the guy wanted to be a woman.
I feel like that comes from people being like, "Oh, trans are nonsense."
Yeah, it's just anti-trans people, that, isn't it? Whether, you know, we're not seeing what our stance on any of trans issues are, at least currently. Maybe we will in the future, who fucking knows. But that it's irrelevant, really, as far as I'm concerned. That seems like it's from that position. But there's been other kind of, you know, a lot of people are happy with it. A lot of people are like saying, you know, he's called Kris and he's a man. Fuck you. This one's a funny one, where when Kris came out as trans to start with, and that nightmare video came out, Mr. Beast was like, "Yeah, this is getting absurd. Kris isn't my nightmare. He's my friend, and things are fine." And then someone's quoted that like, "Oh, turns out Kris was a nightmare." But what I will say again, it's the same as the shooter scenario, isn't it? In that doesn't mean that someone who's trans or in any sort of different...
Is this the same guy just going... Is that the same dude just going back and forth?
Probably.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything about those communities yet.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. So yeah, there's one of my favourite responses was from FaZe Banks, who's leader of FaZe Clan, who said, "Do this in like a bro-y American frat boy voice."
Imagine this is a weird/hard time for you.
That's not far off.
People forget you're a real living, breathing human. Mr. Beast... Sorry, these are the quotation marks that you can't see.
Mr. Beast!
is larger than life. And I understand why people hold the standard that they do, brother. But I hope you're doing okay. Can't be easy when all this happens. With a day one friend. Love. Said Randy Orton, I guess.
I think that's like just a compassionate response, really. It's like, you know, fuck, you know, this guy's been his friend for forever.
Yeah.
Turns out he's a paedophile.
Yeah.
That's got to be horrible. Just full stop. Forget about like implications of business, what you're going to do with your big following, all sorts of all that. Like, on a personal level as a human, he's got to be fucked up by that. It's got to be awful.
Yeah.
So I think that's really good to acknowledge and be like, you know, just on a human personal level, like, I'm sorry that you've had to deal with any of this. Yeah. I'm not going to go on a human personal level with Kris and try to say, "Oh, I'm sorry that you've been punished for all this because you're a fucking filthy, dirty pedo, and I hope you die in a fucking shallow grave, you prick." But that's a different thing. So, obviously, an American's quoted an eagle for some reason in the comments of this.
Raise your wings if you're tired of this BS.
Some of the more legitimate flaws, and they are nitpicky, I must say, with Mr. Beast's response, is he's hired an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation. Now, this is something that other kind of corporations that are kind of YouTube-based have done before. Yogscast have done that, and Linus Text Tips more recently have done that with some other allegations that happened in their business. Now, it's seen as a good thing because they're an independent third party and they should, in theory, not be biased. But, like, Mr. Beast still hired them, you know, so, like, they can't be zero biased.
No.
And the other question is, like, rather than an independent third party, why not the police? Because this is obviously illegal. So that's kind of the pretty much the only thing in it. I mean, other than like, oh no, you knew about this and you harbored a pedo. That's like not really. I think there's basically no evidence for that.
People say that in every paedophile case, don't they? They always go, "Oh, the people around him must have known." It's like, no.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. Because this is the thing that to me suggests that he didn't know at all. In that,
yeah, no, that's I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
Of course. Yeah. But what suggests to me that Mr. Beast and even the rest of the crew didn't know at all. In that, like, there was obviously a Discord channel and group chats where minors were in those chats and inappropriate messages were sent. So there's not been any comment on whether any other of the Mr. Beast crew were in those chats. So it really heavily suggests only Kris was in those chats with underage people and sent inappropriate messages. Maybe some of the other crew were in those chats but didn't send anything close to inappropriate messages. We don't know, I suppose, but that's really doubtful.
Hasn't there been other victims, though?
Well, I don't want to, maybe, but I don't really want to kind of like zoom in on those at all because it's hard. It's kind of a bit similar to the Michael Jackson scenario with that, in that like one guy comes out and loads of them happen to come out. You know, which you could say, well, they're all coming out because they feel the courage to because someone else comes out. That could very well, absolutely, that could be true. Or it could be they're trying to capitalise on some sort of fame or something as well. So
I thought I saw somewhere that he'd been messaging a 10-year-old girl. I don't know if that's true.
Doubt it, considering these allegations and the nature of these.
Oh, so he can't be bisexual nonce then?
It could, it very well could be, but just kind of the nature of the images that were on his wall and stuff. I just doubt it. Well, maybe
was it boys? Was it boys, Jake? With the little dingers out? Was it a boy with a little dingus out? I don't own that Shadman piece.
Good. Perhaps not out, but perhaps heavily suggested that could
bulge in.
Anyway, oh God, I can't. Yeah. I wish I would. I feel sick now. When I was telling Jasmine about this, and we were talking about bits of it, she's actually currently reading a really famous. She's been going through classics, like classic books that are like really big books, and like, you know, like To Kill a Mockingbird, for example. She's been reading through a big list of all them, and at the minute she's on one that's about paedophilia, actually. Yeah. And she was telling me about this book in the kind of context of that, and I was driving us to get some food.
Is it called Lolita? Because there's a very famous. Oh, maybe don't go Google that.
Well, you can. It's a name. It's not. I think it is actually.
Yeah, because it.
Yeah, it is. It's written by a Russian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, it is. So it actually kind of almost directly links. Yeah. So she was telling me about this book, and fucking anytime I hear about anything, I feel sick now. Yeah. Anytime I hear about like any paedophilia stuff, I feel physically sick. Yeah. It makes me want to. It seriously makes me want to throw up. And yeah, this scenario's done that as well. So, yeah, the independent third parties and stuff like that, it really doesn't suggest that Mr. Beast was harbouring a pedo. Maybe you could critique him on whether a third party is actually any good or whether it should be someone like the police. I think it probably is all good. I mean, people didn't have a problem when the Yogscast or Linus Tech Tips handled it like that. It was seen as, like, a pretty flawless way to handle it. And as much as possible, I think that's as flawless as it could be. And he's probably shaken up and not happy about it. I would guess that he's not posted anything since. Yeah, he's not posted anything since. Of course he hasn't. So there you have it. That's pretty much the whole scenario. The only last thing I want to talk about in terms of it is in relation to the Dr. Disrespect scenario. But before we move to that, I'm going to argue with someone on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So obviously, Mr. Beast makes a statement, and I'm like, let me read these comments. Yeah. And then someone says, with allegations like this, shouldn't he be investigated by the police? Referring to Kris.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Then someone called Free Advice says, the victim is welcome to press charges. Now, my response to that, so like, there's nothing massively wrong with any of that, but like, I just kind of, because I was so interested in the scenario, I felt like clearing something up for him. So I said, the victim technically didn't have anything illegal done to them. The part that deserves prosecution is owning CP, child porn. Why would anyone have that if they weren't interested in illegal acts with children? So it's like the victim could press charges, but there's not a victim to press charges because the only victim possible didn't have anything illegal happen.
Yeah.
So we're kind of clarifying that.
He's also not. He's not labeling himself as a victim, is he?
Exactly. Plus, just because someone don't want to press charges don't mean that someone should be prosecuted for something that's illegal either. Now, that's a fucked up scenario in America in some ways, as in, if someone assaults you, like physically, they beat the shit out of you, but you don't fancy suing, pressing charges against them for it, so they might go to prison. Nothing happens to them. In America, that's not the case in our country. They will still be prosecuted because they assaulted someone.
Yeah.
So, how nuts is that?
Yeah.
So anyway, and I want you to read these comments. So we're talking, sweaty, spotty Reddit type person here.
Has anybody proven that?
So just so this is after I said the victim technically not even illegal. The part that deserves prosecution is child porn. You're a nonce if you've got child porn.
Okay. Yeah.
Has anybody proven that? Or is that more insane, rampant speculation fueled by a mob trying to get anything to stick, as though they know inappropriate conversations / jokes from 8 years ago weren't bad enough?
Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, you do all of this, and then I'm going to break it down line by line.
Like, this is a hate mob who wants Eva Tyson to be as evil as possible, basically. Who has already...
I'm going to have to stop you, because it's not Timmy from South Park.
Why?
We're talking... Because Timmy's a decent guy. I don't want Timmy to get blamed for this.
Also, Timmy was the one in the wheelchair. No, Timmy was the one with the crutches. Jimmy was one in the wheelchair.
That's on me. Timmy and Jimmy are obviously very different names.
Yeah. The one that you're actually thinking of is Jimmy's nemesis. The other one who.
No, I'm thinking Jimmy. I'm thinking Jimmy. Is what you sound like.
Wait, no, hold on, no,
I am both did it.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? They all look the same.
So Jimmy from South. No, Jimmy from South. I'm thinking more like this is a hate mob.
Okay.
Like that.
But you're gonna. I was just about to get to the part where I start stuttering like him, though.
No, because Jimmy's a good guy on South Park. I don't want him to be
lying on multiplication.
I know Jimmy's a fictional character, but what I'm saying is I don't want any lolly of Jimmy. Actually, no, what I'm saying is...
You mean Shota of Jimmy?
Oh, whatever. I don't know.
Right, okay.
It's a more whiny type voice.
Okay.
This crowd's been claiming for over a year that she abandoned her family,
in quotation marks,
even as
Sorry, I didn't even realise that. But what do you mean in quotation marks?
Abandoned her family.
Well, that's not quite... Okay, whatever. Fucking, I guess maybe that's quotation.
Even as poses various milestones with the kids, with the kid keep appearing, they'll extrapolate and make shit up based on stereotypes, not the actual reality of any misdeed.
I went a bit bubble bass on the
Crazy, isn't it? So... Obviously, I kind of, how I normally do, I broke that down sentence by sentence. First thing, has anybody proven that?
Yes.
So in my reply, I'm just going to say what I said in my reply. It's been proven with video evidence.
Yeah.
All that's needed for that. Or is it more insane, rampant speculation fueled by a mob trying to get to stick as they know, blah, blah, blah. As they know... sorry. I can't read. Will you do the rest of that for me after? Has anyone else proven that?
Okay.
Do it in the voice.
Or is that more insane, rampant speculation fueled by a mob trying to get anything to stick, as though they know inappropriate conversations / jokes from 80 years ago weren't bad enough?
So, what this person on Twitter's saying is that people who want to go after Kris are aware that the conversations and jokes said, forgetting about the child porn, weren't bad enough. What?
Yeah.
So I said, the jokes you're referring to are, in my opinion, bad enough to be shunned for, but their legality is different. So, yeah, those jokes are bad, and we should shun Kris for it. Legality is something else that's nothing to do with me. That's what I've said. Yeah? weird. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're trying to justify saying, I'm coming for America to a 13-year-old. Like, now, I know that cultures are different and different people have different opinions, wildly, but you can't use that as an excuse to fundamentally and passionately disagree with something to the point where you think someone should be even fucking beheaded.
Yeah.
Honestly. Killed. Who cares? Maybe not beheaded, maybe more peacefully and humanely
Euthanized.
euthanized.
With a brick.
Because honestly, I think, you know, I'm in the camp that could potentially suggest paedophilia is a death sentence, but I'm not going to say whether I think that's true or not. But I
do.
could be put in that arena potentially.
I do, and so does he.
I'm being quite political about this. So anyway, so after that, basically, no other fucking shit was said. So I just said, in this thread specifically, nobody has mentioned gender or sexuality before you, this person. Because they haven't. That's the reason why I replied to this, because, like, all the shit that was kind of like, oh, transes are nonsense, all of them. Like, I'm not interested in that kind of conversation, like,
Yeah.
So, but that's not to say people shouldn't be allowed to say that, or other people can't engage in that. But I specifically commented on this because it was more like it was just more of a matter of fact kind of.
You also agree with this statement. You've been saying it multiple times that this should have been handled by the police, not a.
Oh yeah, it was more just the technicalities of what's legal and what's not.
Yeah.
I was more interested in that, and kind of clearing up some of what I know about that, and potentially someone else informing me even more, perhaps. I don't know. So it's crazy that they chose this thread. There's so many that are all like wild. It's crazy they chose this thread to talk about that. So that's why I said, if anything, that suggests you're the one, the agenda surrounding that. You're the one who brought those things up to do with this. That's weird.
You've not read the new message either, have you? Which is
I've not. This is going to be fun at the end. So I said, it's strange to start bringing up some us versus them type conversation in a thread of people talking about which parts of what has been proven to have happened could cause legal prosecution. Like, we're talking about what parts of this scenario that has definitely happened. The definite parts of this scenario could be illegal. That's it. That's what's being talked about in this thread here. I'm not going to read it myself. Will you Reddit read the last post that they've replied to me with?
It's not my fault you didn't read any of the posts from people doing what I criticised. However, projecting it onto me because you missed what they're doing is your fault. What? Just put. What are you talking about?
I'm tempted to just put lol.
Just do that. In fact, just do that. In fact, I want to do it.
Okay, you can do it.
Okay,
that's fine. I could absolutely come up with a better response than that, but lol's probably funnier. I will say on the podcast what the actual response to that would be, because it's unbelievably easy. I could probably find an 8-year-old on the street to respond to that with a decent response. It's not my fault you didn't read any of the posts from people doing what I criticised. I did. I read a lot of them. That's the whole reason it's weird you're saying it in this thread.
Yeah.
Because there's loads of threads that would justify you saying that potentially.
Yeah.
That's why I called it out for being weird here.
Yeah.
However, projecting it onto me because you miss what they're doing is your fault. So I didn't miss what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm projecting it onto you for a different reason. Maybe the reason I'm projecting it onto you is because you're saying it in a scenario that has nothing to do with it, and you're the one bringing it up.
I know.
As we've just said. Yeah. I'm never wrong. Everyone,
never wrong.
No, I am wrong.
I don't think you're wrong in this situation.
It's very rare that I'm wrong. I will take that. And it's very rare that it's near impossible for me to be entirely wrong. Is what I would say. In this scenario, I am 100% right. So it's weird. Even the lol was probably right.
Yeah,
actually.
That actually was right because we did.
Yeah. It's good. They'll not reply now. I don't know this. They're called Tabby Kerr, and if you go on the profile, they're obviously very biased
gay
towards
and queer and furry,
like trans people and things like that. We are. I don't think we could be more. I mean, I don't think we could be more centralized on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
For the two of us, I mean, we're I don't fucking care, basically. So what I'm saying is they are obviously more biased in one direction. We are very central on this. Well, at least I am. I don't want to speak for both of us, but I'm pretty certain that this person's obviously very left-leaning or liberal in that aspect. And in fact, weirdly, have they left a phone number in their bio? It's a good job we didn't show this on the screen. What the fuck? So they're gay and queer, furry, a writer. They're into anime, video, wrestling, trading card games. Maybe I can play Yu-Gi-Oh with this freak.
No, can't call them that.
I can call them that. He says Thembo Garfield in the bio. What? What?
I don't know if it was it might have been a totally subconscious thing, but you went, I can say what I want about this freak, and then your mouse, like, pointed at the profile.
Yeah, because it's a fucking weird profile picture. It's got, like, this strange drawing of, like, this dead bear with scissors through it and shit. I don't know. That's weird.
Really funny.
It's okay to be weird and have stuff like that as the profile picture, by the way, but you can't then be like, I'm not a freak. Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are, yeah.
And own it then. That's fine. Don't endorse paedophiles, though.
Yeah,
I'm not happy with that. That's the bit that I don't like this person for. But anyway, so every time you post my bio, I win. Why? I'm not posting the bio because I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Oh, they're into Yu-Gi-Oh! V-Rain's a Yu-Gi-Oh! thing. I'm going to make friends with this freak. Japanifornia is their...
I saw Japanifornia. That made me cringe a little bit.
No, I'm absolutely not going to be friends with someone endorsing a paedophile.
Yeah.
He said, why? What's the defense of this fucking...
Jay, these are the people that like Yu-Gi-Oh! These are the Yu-Gi-Oh! fan base.
I am ashamed to say it really is. It really is.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably the first time I've been into a thing that's had more degenerate fans than stuff you're into. That's rare that happens.
I'd say on a whole, the Warhammer fan base is far less degenerate than the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan base.
Yeah, I think out of all the things that we're into, I nearly said Yu-Gi-Oh's probably got the most degenerate fan base, but you're into like weird sex shit.
Yeah, but I don't think that's fair because I feel like that's the point. I feel like that's the point of them.
But it is exactly it's the point.
Okay.
It's not saying that like out of the stuff that's not the point. I
even feel like no, they're not. I feel like
I think they're not.
No, because I've been with like more like normal people who are just like into kinky shit than because
it's about the ratio of it. There's more ratio of degenerates that are into the weird sex shit you're into than degenerates that are into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
It's an embarrassing ratio for Yu-Gi-Oh, I will say. So, the last thing I want to say... Well, I'm not going to say... Not that I want to say, before we go into the Dr. Disrespect relevancy, is... it's kind of asking a question more than saying something. So, we know, biologically, well, we don't know, but we don't know gravity exists. It's heavily likely, based off scientific discoveries, that biologically, humans are male and female, and that each gender is supposed to be attracted to the opposite sex. Okay?
Okay.
We can do that without being cancelled, right? Pretty much. I don't think that's a cancelable offence.
This isn't me saying it's a cancelable offence, but I'm gonna sound like a stupid liberal saying this, not like a normal or smart liberal.
Do a weird devil's advocate.
It's not even really a devil's advocate, but it's like, are things meant to be attracted to the opposite gender? Because, like obviously to have a kid, that makes sense.
Yeah, because there's purpose behind it.
Yeah,
but
then you see in nature all the times, like male and male coupling.
Exactly. So that would be the next level of things. So it's like, so for that to become different, and essentially for gayness to exist in humans, in animals, whatever, is not biologically meant to happen. I say meant because that's already a weird kind of bit of a grey line.
Yeah.
But that very much does not mean that it's bad or that it's like a disaster or like I don't know, something that should be scared of or something or anything like that. It very much doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
In nature all the time, but what it does mean is technically it's a scientific flaw in that species, whatever's happened. Now, just because it's a technical flaw doesn't mean that you're any worse for being like that, or any less human, or any less valued. It definitely doesn't mean that. But it is technically a flaw. So the reason I say that is because being a paedophile is definitely a flaw.
Okay, yeah.
And also that is very bad. So the thing is, if you are transgender, that is one of those flaws that we're talking about that's like, and again, like I say, I feel weird and kind of bad about calling it a flaw because it's not. It's kind of like a bug in biology that isn't necessarily, depending who you ask, good or bad. It's a bug that is there. If you're someone who has that bug in your biological code, that suggests your code is buggy and that you might have other kind of gender sexual related bugs. Yeah. Which means that surely and this is question mark, that means then question mark that if you're gay or trans or have any of these bugs in your sexual or gender biological code, that you're more likely to have the bug for paedophilia that's not okay. Question mark.
Yeah. I feel like I'd need to just look at data.
That's something I think that we could do with some good science on, isn't it? And it's not that there's no data, by the way.
Let's grab 1,000 kids.
No. Just so you know, by the way, there's a lot of data on it. Yeah. When it comes to being gay. Yeah. And the numbers suggest that if you are gay, you are slightly more likely to be a paedophile.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which makes sense what we've just said. Now, it's less so than if you're black, you're more likely to commit crimes. So that's another thing as well, statistically. Yeah. What I want to say off the back of that is, neither of those mean we should lock up gays and black people. That's insanity. That's what is insanity there. So we can. What's important is to be able to acknowledge these statistical facts and know that we don't necessarily have to do some crazy shit like kill or lock up all this type of person as a result of that. It's just information that we've got to work with.
They just need to be beaten into submission.
The awkward one is to do with trans people, which is obviously a lot more kind of close to this scenario. The data on that, and I'm talking about reliable data, and if people do listen to this and want me to quote the actual studies I've looked at, I probably could, but it'd take me a long while to go and find what I've just remembered from years of having an interest in this. But I could, if people give a shit enough and was nice enough about it, because I'm sick of people being fucking terrible to us online, hence why we're stopping the podcast. Anyway, there's not really a long enough timeline with trans people. Like, it's not been kind of generally accepted enough to kind of get good data on it. The little that we've had suggests it's a lot more likely to be linked to paedophilia. But it's really, really not good enough evidence. It's just not good enough evidence. So just don't... My opinion on it is just disregard it until it's actually useful. Yeah. There's no point using whatever we've got right now. So
straight guys, your numbers are looking a little low. Gotta pump them numbers up. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Come on, I believe in you, straight guys.
Straight guys murder more if we want to balance that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that tells us.
What's worse, murder or rape?
Jeez. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't feel like I got a say in it. Probably murder, maybe.
I'm gonna go rape.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because life's horrible anyway, so murder you get out of it.
Yeah, okay, that's fair, yeah.
Rape just makes life even worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then obviously paedophilia is even worse than that.
Not for the rapist.
Yeah, not... Well, if they get caught, it might do.
Yeah.
Anyway. God. So, Dr. Disrespect then, in relation to all of this. Now, what's wild to me is the responses that's happened to Kris and Dr. Disrespect. It's at best been even, and at worst, people are willing to overlook Kris's scenario, but will completely condemn Dr. Disrespect. I think it's more likely closer to the former of those two. I think it's pretty even, in my opinion, but the difference is, right, to summarise both scenarios, Kris sent messages that we know what the content was directly to a 13-year-old. And also, at a certain point, might not now, whatever, but we know at some point owned what is pretty much irrefutably classed as child pornography. That's the summary of that.
Yes.
Dr. Disrespect, different thing, sent what has been labelled as inappropriate messages directly to a 17-year-old. We don't know what they were. Those are hugely different scales in my mind.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because it's like we don't want to know what the messages were. There's obviously like a...
Both of them have wife and children, so that cancels out as far as I'm concerned.
There's a 4-year difference. I know there's still a minor, but it's just we don't know
you can't just brush over that.
Yeah.
That's massively significant. Like I said when we were talking about Dr. Disrespect, the difference between noncing a 10-year-old and a 17-year-old is not even close to the same thing. Not even close. Noncing a 17-year-old, quite bad.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking bad. Like I'm not going to condone that by any means. Noncing a 10-year-old, I hope your eyes explode in your skull. Like it's different levels. It is definitely different levels.
Yeah.
So that's even the first part. Second part, right? What's inappropriate to send to underage people will be massively debated on. Different people will have hugely different opinions on that. The thing that helps with Kris's scenario is we know what the messages were. We don't know what they were with Dr. Disrespect, so it's a lot more speculative. So, for a start, the age range, way worse for Kris.
Yeah.
The messages scenario, way worse for Kris, because we know what they were. And I'm pretty confident more people would find them inappropriate. We don't know about Dr. Disrespect. Last thing, that was it with Dr. Disrespect. Kris had child porn. It's like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
The difference. And I'm not going to blame it on this, but there's a potential to suggest that the message with Kris has been more muddied by people saying, don't target trans people as a result of this. I don't know why that's ever even commented on. It's completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Someone is a paedophile, message 13-year-old on child porn, someone sent what was probably inappropriate messages to a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
That's... Who fucking cares? Gender, anything. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. But I think it's been muddied with Kris a bit, and that... I don't know. What do you think in those two scenarios with Dr. Disrespect and Kris?
I mean... I still don't think Dr. Disrespect should have been doing it, but you're right.
Yeah.
What Kris has done is a whole lot worse. Like, I haven't really got anything else to say on it. I'm not one sitting here going, "Oh, this person's getting fucked over more than this person," because to be honest, I want them both to get fucked over. So it's like,
it's weird though, because like Dr. Disrespect's lost more than Kris has. But I think that's more to do with he just had more.
I was just going to say, I feel like Dr. Disrespect had more to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He just had more sponsorship and stuff like that. He wasn't Mr... Like, if it was Mr. Beast had nonced people, Mr. Beast would have lost more.
God,
absolutely.
I feel like the economy would tank if he fucking went over.
Pretty much. Yeah. So, I think so that's pretty much that, isn't it? I mean, I don't think there's much else to say on it. I think the last thing we should say on, well, I'm just going to quickly touch on Cody Ko, by the way. Do you know who he is? He's He's a YouTuber, does kind of comedian stuff. Anyway, he slept with Tana Mongo when she is
Tana Mongoose?
Yeah, when she was 17, apparently.
She's the one who was like, slay me, and then I don't
I'm a slut. Yeah.
Say.
She was apparently 17 at the time.
Yeah.
But it got very brushed over because everyone was like, come on, you slag.
Yeah.
You told him you're 18 and you weren't. Everyone knows that's what happened.
Shadman also...
And she was like, oh.
Yeah. Shadman also drew lolly-porn of her, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
How? She's got tits everywhere.
I know, but like, he did that age down thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? That?
Yeah, her. I don't know, because he likes drawing...
That's extra weird.
I know, because he likes drawing little girls, Jacob. Don't try and bring rationality to the man.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, at least it's good that I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well.
I'm more upset that I actually know all of these people.
So, obviously, because a lot of people actually did come out and comment on this, unlike what some people were saying.
Yeah.
One of I thought was kind of a slightly odd. There's two people I want to talk about to do with it. Hassan.
Yeah.
Do you know Hassan? Honestly, I know I sound like a more right-wing kind of guy from saying this. Wouldn't be surprised if it comes out he's done some nonsense.
Hassan Parker?
Honestly, wouldn't be surprised. Just because he was literally... Have you seen the difference of the clips of him talking about Dr. Disrespect compared to this scenario?
No, I don't watch anything.
So you know that Drake diss that we were laughed about earlier? He put on that, danced about when Dr. Disrespect came out and fucking danced about to all that shit, condemned him like mad, fucking slated him like mad. And this Kris scenario's come out, he's gone like, I'm a political commentator, I'm going to talk about Kamala Harris rather than any of this. It's ridiculous, you want to talk to me about this? Shut the fuck up, you fucking
what
prick.
A little bitch.
Honestly, I almost called him a nonsense. It looks so sus though, that, doesn't it? It's like, oh, I might have done something that's maybe a bit similar, so I don't want to...
I mean, whatever, the Candyman's gonna beat him up anyway, innit? The fucking...
I don't know what he's...
Sam Hyde, the Candyman.
Oh, is he? I don't know what...
If you remember ages ago when we watched the creator thing that he was saying...
Did he call out Hassan?
Yeah, he went, Hassan Piker!
Hassan will never do that.
I know, it's years
I would
ago.
fight Hassan.
Yeah,
I would fight Hassan. Fuck that guy. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. He's tall and muscular, actually. In theory, should beat me in a fight. I think he's like 6'1" and like quite well built. I don't give a shit. I'll fucking beat the shit out of him. I would win anyway.
Well, I tell you what, you'll fight him and you'll be losing in the fight. But then during the fight, there'll be like a wolf whistle, and he'll turn around. And I'll be like, hello, sailor, and I'll be dressed up as like a schoolgirl. And
that'll distract him.
Yeah, his eyes will pop and go. Oh,
It'll turn into that like wolf. The two like creators that I would most like to do a creator boxing fight with is Hassan and Deji. those are the ones I'm most bothered about. So yeah, fucking absolutely insane. Let's quickly do a Pokemon one. She was a little bit too concerned with people not targeting trans people. It's irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. Don't target trans people, but that's not what anyone should be talking about. Pedos have happened. Then we mentioned Moist Critical. Oh fuck, who was the last one? Oh fuck, there was someone else who was really important to mention as well.
I know, was Asmongold talking about this?
No, that's not what I mean.
Okay.
Oh shit, it's like I can't get them. Who was the other one?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't follow this shit.
Oh my god, who was the last person that should have talked that I want to talk about to do with this? I will feel so fucking pissed off if I remember later and don't mention it.
You gotta
fuck.
You gotta hurry up and think.
Oh no, I'm scrolling on Twitter to see if it just comes up.
All of the listeners, all the thousands of listeners that we have are all walking out.
I can't remember. Oh my god, I'm pissed off at myself.
Dead air!
It's my autism that's going to piss me off with this. Oh, apparently there's been a tweet with Zuck and Elon talking about fighting again. Interesting. No, that's not going to happen. Zuck will demolish Elon. I don't know. Anyway, so it was, what was it? It was Dr. Disrespect, Kris Tyson scenario, and what other creator commented on it? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, fuck. I can't remember who it was. Oh, God, I'm so pissed off. I'm also forgetting what else okay. I can't remember. Oh. Maybe I'll remember later, because we're going to talk about movies and TVs in a bit anyway, but basically, the last thing I want to say on this, even though I'm going to remember something else later, is paedophile,
Yeah.
bad.
Yes.
If you're going to take one thing from this, paedophile, bad.
That is the takeaway, yeah.
Do you have any different...
No.
Well,
I'm definitely not going to say paedophile good.
The takeaway is going to be pizza later, but...
Oh, okay.
You want any other... not paedophile good, then?
No, I'm not. I don't take that stance.
So you agree?
Paedophile
main
bad,
thing take paedophile bad.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
That's if you're going to listen to one sentence of this whole thing, paedophile bad. Officials quote that. Streams badly. Paedophile bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching a clip from Deji here, by the way.
Fighting
again.
the only person in the world who is more pathetic than him, Neon. Can you fight Deji and I fight Neon? I think I do. I think we.
No.
Why?
Because you can't kill someone, Judd. It's like
yeah, but it's like it's like the same as shooting a pigeon. It's like people are gonna be pissed off, but like no legal action will be taken against me for it.
It's so like it's hilarious how much it's exactly the same. Like you've got basically no boxing experience at all. Neon sparred with Deji, and you would kill him.
Yeah,
in a ring.
I'd kill him.
Like absolutely, I would love us to have some, even if it was the lowest of levels, creator boxing fights. I'd love us to get paired on, one of these, like, not a Misfits like we watch or something like that. Yeah. One of these, like, social fight club cards, and we're fighting some Instagram wannabe who's got 1,000 followers or something. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. We would fucking kill them. It's unbelievable. Honestly, I honestly think that if we could, even without having the money to do it, even just kind of like a cheap gym near us, if we could like commit to doing that for a few months, it would be hilarious how much. I honestly think people would very much underestimate how tough we are.
Sorry, I don't mean to giggle at that. I did.
You find it hilarious considering yourself tough, but you are. You can't be laughing at how tough I am.
No,
fuck off.
No, it wasn't
what I've done.
It
wasn't
can piss
that.
Off. It was the this is how you said it. It was just like the.
I know what you mean. I know. It was said in a weird way. But how else are you supposed to say that? Like honestly,
I've been going to the gym. I've been going not for long. I started.
Oh, you have actually, yeah.
Only for the past 2 days.
But this is while you're doing a job that's not physical now, because you've done a lot of physical jobs.
I actually finished yesterday.
Have you got a personal trainer, or is it?
No, I just go in myself. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm on way getting work at another place now because they no longer need me to watch the gate.
Yeah, that's all you were doing.
Gate lord, yeah.
You no longer
I actually did start like doing.
Carry on saying that. I need to piss a bit.
Oh God, it's not interested. Yeah, just. I was watching a gate like my whole fucking job, and it was great, but it was just fucking like I don't know. It was I had to sit in a field and basically stare at a gate until a truck came down and the gate needed opening. But I could like watch my phone as much as I wanted for the whole like 9 hours of the day. But that's the thing is you sat there for 9 hours of your day. Just like basically staring at a fucking gate, and every now and again you're just getting up and opening the gate. So it's. What you probably didn't hear that on the microphone through the microphone, but he just said, "Why didn't I bring some Warhammer models to paint?" I just didn't want to. I guess that's my response to that. I have done stuff like that before. Like I have brought a model just to do a bit of something on when I've been working at somewhere with nothing going on, but I don't know. I think it's just I think it's because of like if a truck showed up and I don't know, I was concentrating on like doing me model and like people were like, "Yo, why the fuck aren't you opening the thing?" And they were like, "Are you painting like a little purple spaceman in there? You queer?"
Well, if you're looking at videos, surely they'll say the same thing.
Yeah, but if I'm watching some hot babe getting railed, they go.
Right, so you've been watching porn for 9 hours a day.
They go, "Oh yeah, that's nice."
Do you want the big fucking dropping jubblies, or do you want the perky little tits?
Yeah. But if I'm there like painting,
No, I'm actually asking which.
Oh, I think probably droopy, fat tits.
Droopy jubblies.
Yeah,
Droopy jubblies.
yeah.
We're a droopy jubblies kind of podcast.
That sounds like a Justin Roiland bit. That droopy jubblies.
I know that for you, fan. Allegedly. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I think that's going to be it. Tweet at Tweets Badly on Twitter and let us know what you think about those scenarios.
Okay.
We'll be doing some. We're going to do some movie and TV talk.
Yeah, okay.
Because I've been watching some stuff. I'm going to another LAN event, by the way. Another Apex Legends LAN event. This is video games. In Germany soon. So
That's
I'll be talking
Midsummer
about that at some
Clan.
point. Yeah, what's wrong with me? This one. There we go. So I've been watching some stuff. Don't look at the scores. How do I hide this? Okay. I'm not going to tell you my scores on these things. So... Shit, you can still see the scores. Let's hide these. You've looked at them already, haven't you?
Yeah, I looked at it.
Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of stuff, and I want to tell you about them. First, do you want to say anything that you've been watching?
To be honest, the only thing that I've saw. Oh, I mean, I've watched the newest season of The Boys that fully came out. A lot of people were whining online this year. I do feel like it was probably maybe a bit weaker, but I think
we'll do The Boys when I've seen it as well.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm ready to watch it.
I'll not say anything about it. Just I think it had some really strong moments in it. I think it had some pretty weak moments in it.
It's odd because I felt that about season 2.
Yeah.
And people didn't agree. They just loved it as much as ever. I thought season 2 was like, it was good. It was good, for sure. Like, overall, definitely good. But there was definitely some, like almost pointless stuff and some knocks in it that I definitely didn't like as much as season 1 or 3. To me, my favourite season is 3 by far. That's definitely my favourite season.
Good, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So
yeah,
you've been watching The Boys with your grandma and granddad then?
Yeah,
what were you watching before that with them?
Well, we've also been watching Vice Principals, which we've not finished yet.
Oh, okay.
So, and then
you were watching something before that. Was it True Detective you were watching before that?
that was a while ago. I think we've already done that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were watching something before The Boys with them though. Can't remember what it was.
I don't know. We started on the new season of House of the Dragon, and we've watched the first episode, and we just cannot be fucked with it.
I think you've probably already rated that.
Yeah.
Tell you what, let's do The Boys and House of Dragon ratings for you then. So, Perry in the Big Blue House, Ali G in the house. The woman in the house across the street from the woman who's in the window. Anyway, House of Dragon, you give it a 60 before the season.
Yeah.
You couldn't get past the first episode.
Bump that shit down to like 52.
That sounds fair.
Like
you got through season 1 and liked it 60, then you couldn't manage past an episode of a season.
Yeah.
I think that sounds fair.
But
I would maybe have it below 50.
I think the thing is, I think we are going to watch it at some point.
Right.
It's just we've been watching The Boys, and like we've not been into it.
So The Boys, there's The Boys type on.
Yeah.
So The Boys, you've got it at 91. So you didn't like the season as much, so might that ding that down a little?
Yeah, you know what? I could probably pop it to a 90.
Only 1 point though.
Yeah, like
Not a lot.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But everybody online seems to think it's like a terrible dog shit season, and I just don't get it.
I've seen some weird kind of comments on it. I've tried to kind of ignore them and just and I pretty much have. I think I'm not disappointed with them. I've given The Boys an 86 so far. I think that's. I can't see that going up. I think it's going to stay there or maybe come down.
Yeah.
Just because like Deadpool 2 and my Harry Potter ones have got 85. I mean, it's a good score for The Boys. They've done a good showing, but like to say that there was like. No, I wouldn't say an iffy season 2, but like a subpar for The Boys, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's hard to describe because overall it's obviously a very good show, but there's some flaws in it. So it can't grab a 90.
Yeah.
You know, because you know when I think of a 90, I think of Joker. You know, The Joker? Well, a 90. I give it a 91. The movie The Joker. There's like... If you're getting a 90 out of 100, that means there's basically no flaws, but maybe there could be a tiny bit more positives.
Yeah.
The tiniest bit. Whereas The Boys has flaws. So it's just not going to ever get a 90. So... I don't know, but it's still probably the best thing on TV at the minute. Actually, the best kind of current series that's not finished to me is Stranger Things, but The Boys is pretty up there as well.
I mean, I was never super into Stranger Things. I don't mind it, but
I know, but that is a you thing. It definitely is. I would, to me, The Boys is no, not The Boys. Stranger Things is the best TV series of all time overall. That's not just like to me, as in my opinion, as in for everyone.
If Butcher saw 11, he'd be like, I'm gonna kick your fucking bald cunt head in, you slag.
He would. Yeah. That Gret slag.
And then she'd go, ah! And he'd blow up.
Yeah. Just like that.
It'd go, oi! And then yeah.
Anyway. Let's go top to bottom here.
Can we go from bottom to top?
No, because I'm going to talk about Dune Part 2 forever.
All right.
Inside Out 2, I went to see it at Pennison Paramount, where they have a break in the middle of the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty fun. I like it. Cracking film.
Yeah.
79 out of 100. Yeah. It's not as good as the first one, but it's pretty damn great. I mean, it's like, what is it a Pixar film? I don't know if it's Pixar, but it's 3D animated. Yeah. Inside Out 1 is probably quite possibly my second favourite animated movie ever.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you liked it that
really
much.
Good. It's really good.
Yeah.
My favourite, and I'm literally just off the top. No, it's not. Because Into the Spider-Verse, the first one's right up there.
Yeah.
It's in the top 5, anyway. Coco is really up there. When I'm talking like Pixar films, Coco's number 1 probably, and then Inside Out 2... I don't know. It's up there. It's really up there.
I don't know.
Easily top 10. Inside Out number 1. Inside Out 2. I doubt it'll crack a top 10, but it's up there. It's good. Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire.
I haven't watched it. My nan's watched it. She's watched all of the Ghostbusters.
Now I've realised I'm more of a fan of Ghostbusters than I knew.
Okay.
Because like nearly all of them are pretty solid.
Yeah. Like
Ghostbusters 1, iconic, amazing, cracking film. Ghostbusters 2, actually about as good. Like, people forget about Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2 is great. Yeah. It's really fucking good.
That was my favourite Ghostbusters 2.
I would potentially say the same.
Yeah.
It's hard because Ghostbusters 1's great too.
Yeah.
But the Ghostbusters 3 feminism attack is terrible.
Yeah, that one's dog shit.
That's one everyone just can forget about.
Yeah.
But then the reboot of the reboot pretty solid. I mean, it was pretty Stranger Things-esque. In fact, even one of the same actors.
I know, it's Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah. In fact, I remember that's the first time women started being like, "Oh, Finn Wolfhard, oh my pussy."
Oh, really? For Finn Wolfhard? I mean, not only is it a child, but also gross.
Yeah, exactly. He was 14 at the time.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Plus, he's more of a wedge of cheese than Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Both of them are ugly. I'm sorry. They're just like angular cunts. They're Pythagoras men. Jasmine, it doesn't like she's not crazy about any celeb crush wise. Yeah. More so than me, to be anyway. But she understands the hype on Timothy Chalamet.
Well, I don't. Has she explained it to you?
I think kind of I think the angular thing about him that I think looks ridiculous is the kind of appeal. And there's more to it than that. But
they love angles. They love angles.
He looks like a wedge of cheese.
And
honestly,
you know what?
He looks like Pythagoras' theorem as a person. I don't get it.
They like angles, and we like curves.
He's pale as fuck.
Yeah.
He's scrawny as shit.
I won't fuck him.
He's A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Anyway, it don't matter. But back in the day, people didn't understand Robert Pattinson, did they? They said, "Oh, he looks homeless," but that was ridiculous. He's an attractive fella.
You know, I can kind of still agree with that a little bit.
Well, he kind of did a bit look homeless-ish then, but like,
I think he looks a bit homeless now. I think in some pictures he looks more homeless.
But come on, like Robert Pattinson is definitely better looking than Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah.
Anyway, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire was the sequel to the second reboot, and it was solid. It was solid. It was fun. Had James Acaster in it in a larger role than he should have been in. That was probably the worst bit. This guy, you know,
That
British
guy.
comedian, yeah.
What, in like a serious role or?
Well, I mean, it's Ghostbusters. It wasn't that serious, but it wasn't like that comedic.
Yeah.
And he weren't like doing an American accent. Thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, it took me out of it a bit. But it was good. 75, solid.
Yeah.
Blade 2. So objectively, this movie's kind of bad. I enjoyed it at 72. It's one of those where it's like, it's such like a brilliant snapshot of that kind of era and type of film.
The only thing I know about this movie is that apparently there's one scene where Wesley Snipes has his eyes closed. Oh, is this the first one?
3.
Oh, that's 3.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. So,
Yeah.
so
I'm
you know
excited for that scene. Though. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's very infamous.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes' eyes are slightly fucked, basically.
Yeah.
So he didn't want a really big. So the kind of something happens in this. I honestly don't even know what happens in Blade 3.
Yeah.
But something happens in the story where he opens his eyes and they're meant to be like all red and or something like that. He didn't want such a close up on his eyes.
Yeah.
Because his eyes are kind of fucked, and and if you watch Blade, he wears sunglasses a lot. Not all the time. Half of the time, he's not wearing them because it don't make sense for the story. But he wears sunglasses a lot, and that's a Wesley Snipes thing.
Yeah,
it's a Blade thing as well, but it's a Wesley Snipes thing a lot. And in this scene, it was so close. He refused to open his eyes.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do it, so he just kept his eyes shut. And in like 2004 CGI, they went, "Wee." He did CGI his eyes open. Really shit. Like, let's Google it. Blade Trinity eyes.
Oh no! Oh Jesus! He looks like a painted-on mannequin, doesn't he? Oh my god, he looks like when Mickey turned into the plastic version of himself in the first episode.
Shit, he does, yeah.
First episode of Doctor Who.
Do you know what? Though? I expected it to be worse. I thought it'd be worse. Do you know what? For the time, it's not as bad as Henry Cavill mustache replacement.
Yeah.
It's actually not that bad. But anyway, Blade 2, it was pretty cool. It had Ron Perlman in it as like not the main bad guy, but kind of like a rival type of guy to Blade, who was definitely against him, but kind of it's complicated.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman is not menacing.
His voice can be menacing, but
absolutely.
but like him, no.
His stature and everything
he as a person isn't.
Do you know what else it
menacing.
had in it? Weirdly, that I didn't even recognise who it was. You know Van Gogh and Doctor Who?
Yeah,
He was
What
in
the
it
fuck?
before Doctor
yeah.
Who. Another one, first Fast and Furious film. The guy who's part of La Familia, who's like the asshole, who doesn't like Brian.
I wouldn't know.
Fucking.
I wouldn't know. I don't.
That guy.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean now?
No, I don't know who he
know
is. I don't know if he's from anything. I
So he's
recognise
in it as well?
this dude more.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's way more of a forgettable character, but okay, sure. What? Who's that guy?
You forgot he was there.
Wait a minute, there's an Asian guy? Holy shit.
Look at his cheekbones. Holy shit.
That
What is
Asian guy's
Yeah.
pretty.
I think he's had work done.
I might have gone have a wank later. Anyway, so one of the guys from that was in it as well. And one of the best like hand-to-hand combat choreographers in Hollywood who's been doing it for fucking years. Was like in it as well, doing hand-to-hand combat. So there was like quite an all-star cast. There was some other people who were quite recognisable in it as well. Blade 2, it's a cool movie. I mean, Blade 1's better, and Blade Trinity is almost definitely terrible. But I'm probably going to give it a 70 anyway when I see it again. Fortune Hotel. I gave that 68 out of 100. I'm convinced this is the same production team as The Traitors. It looks really similar and everything, and kind of it's a reality competition show. Did I tell you about this already? Do you know what it is?
It's not the same men's thing, is it?
No, that was Inside. So Fortune Hotel, there are, I think it's 10 couples. They're not all like romantically related. 10 groups of 2, and they all like get a case in this hotel. One of the cases has £250,000 in it. One of the cases has a card, which means that if you hold that card, you're leaving in this episode. Mm-hmm. All the rest of the cases are empty. There's 2 challenges an episode, basically, where swaps or looking into other people's cases can happen. And at the end of the show, you want to be the last one left, and you want to have the money in the case.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of snaking and stuff like that. Cool reality show. Not quite as fun as The Traitors. But I liked it a lot. There were these 2 fucking bitches on it that I hated. They were fucking annoying and I didn't like them at all. But they didn't win in the end. And the people I wanted to win did.
Sorry, I can't believe the director of Blade 2 was fucking Guillermo del Toro.
I should have said that. You're right, yeah.
I'm just seeing that.
When we and Carl were watching it at the end of it, I went, Guillermo del Toro. So, yeah, I know, weird. So Fortune
Wait,
Hotel.
hold on. While we're talking about Guillermo del Toro, this is another fucking batshit crazy thing that I didn't realise was him. Do you remember
Thailand?
No. I mean, it probably was, but I can see that kind of makes sense in a weird.
Oh no, sorry, Terry Gilliam.
Yeah. You know, on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's the courtroom episode where Liam McPoyle's missing an eye, and they bring out Charlie brings out a character, type him in, Paddy McPoyle, and Paddy McPoyle from Pappy McPoyle. It's fucking Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah. But it could have been Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
Same kind of guy.
I found that out like yesterday. I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Well, he directed Blade 2.
Yeah.
Actually, if you watch it, makes sense.
Yeah.
So Fortune Hotel was pretty cool. I liked it. Not that much to say, but you'll never watch it and you'll not like it. If you're ever gonna watch a reality show that I recommend to you, though, it's The Traitors. It's got to be The Traitors. And honestly, I don't. Do you Nana and Grandad like any sort of reality show type thing?
They'll watch. I'm a Celeb.
Okay. I really think you should give The Traitors a go with them. I really do. Season 1 or 2 of the UK, both are great.
The Traitors, what am I talking about? They love The Traitors.
So they've seen it all?
Yeah, they've seen it all,
Oh, shit. So you should have watched it. Like, honestly, I know you're not into it, but and I get it, and that's fine, but you should at least give it that sort of genre a chance once, and that's the show you should do it with. The other one I would recommend, if you weren't going to do that one, would be I'm a Celebrity, but not modern I'm a Celebrity. It'd have to be like old school, and then it might seem a bit weird because it's old. Anyway,
I'll have to go watch Darren's season
of I'm a Celebrity.
Yeah.
Do you know what season it was on?
I think it was the first season.
Darren Brown.
No,
that's he called
Darren Day.
Oh yeah.
I'm a Celeb. What's it? Yeah, just. Oh, in fact, if you go on.
First
season.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the best one. It was in that era where the best of things was like the second or third rather than the first. So the ones with Katie Price on were probably the best ones, you know. But I could probably figure that out. We watched Team America World Police.
You did, together.
I've slapped a 65 on that. You definitely found that funnier than I did.
Yeah, I'd give it a 70. I actually forgot how funny I thought that movie was.
Surely you know, though, that you find it funnier than it actually is.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which is fine.
I just think, look, it's something about the puppets trying to do, like, regular human shit and them just fucking up because of the puppets. It just gets me.
I think I liked 65 as a score because it's definitely good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want any question on that, but it's not South Park. I will say that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited for when we go to see Book of Mormon, which we're not supposed to know about, but definitely do. So yeah, 60. I thought 65 was a pretty decent score. I watched Job Lot because we accidentally saw that on Netflix, I think, when we were looking for movies to watch. So I just decided to watch it. I really liked it, actually. It was pretty good. But it's like one of those like kind of cast sitcoms, isn't it? That's funny. Channel 4 cast sitcoms.
What is Job Lot? Because you're saying like I know this. I don't know.
You told me about it,
didn't I? I don't have a score on it.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, but you know what it is.
These are the Walking Gardens, which...
Oh, I hate that Netflix just plays.
Tell me why you...
I haven't told you about this.
Oh my god,
no
you
way.
absolutely told me what type of show this is.
I don't even know what it is. I don't even know. I recognise that dude.
The guy who's in Utopia.
Yeah. And
you were like, oh yeah, because the thumbnail had him in it, and you were like, oh, but yeah, it's just like I said, oh, is it like one of those like Channel 4 type shows, like IT Crowd or something? And you said, yeah, it's something like
this
that.
is somebody else's. I think
promise
this is like Cal.
I am 99.999% that it was definitely.
Well, it wasn't because I've never seen the Job Lot. So
no, I know. I'm not saying you've seen it. I'm saying that you told me what type of show it is.
No, I didn't know.
Fucking moron. Anyway, that's what it was anyway, and because of that sort of thing, I was like, I like that sort of thing.
Okay. So
I watched it. Yeah, it's good. 64. It's pretty funny. I think The Office is a bit better, and there's definitely better ones of it, but it's funny. Dad would like it. I think you would like it as well. But it's one of those things that, like, you know, if you're not got loads of time, you could skip it. Yeah. But if you want something that's a bit casual and kind of funny, definitely you could give that a go. We did watch Scrap Heap Challenge.
Yeah, we did watch a bit of that.
But we actually watched Scrap Heap Challenge like Versus or something like that somehow. I give it a 54 because like 10 minutes of it's worth watching out of an hour episode. But that 10 minutes can be wild and just fucking hilarious. Basically, Scrap Heap Challenge is there's a massive junkyard and the producers say to two teams of like mechanics who normally work on cars, build a nuclear reactor. You've got 6 minutes, go. And then by the end of it, obviously it's terrible. And they go, ha 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 ha.
And the one that's slightly closer to a nuclear reactor wins.
Yeah. It's so stupid. The first episode of it is build a plane. What do you mean build a plane? I've got an hour. So I gave it 54 though, because it's not actually that much better than average, because like 90% of the show is boring, but you know, one of the shows I watched with Jasmine is Interior Design Masters, and that's slightly similar to Scrap Heap Challenge, even if you're interested in interior design, in that the first bit is interesting. You watch them start working on all their interior designs in part of this competition, then for like half an hour they're still working on the designs, and then the reveal. That half an hour, you could chop that out. Yeah. I'm not bothered. Drifters. Do you know what this is?
No.
You know In-Betweeners?
Yes.
Women.
The women from In-Betweeners?
Yeah.
It's
you know the In-Betweeners movie?
Or is it,
where...
it's those women...
Yeah.
Okay, alright, yeah.
And it's basically the In-Betweeners.
Okay.
with those women.
Okay.
It feels like they're trying to be the In-Betweeners as a show,
Yeah.
and it's got those girls from, I think it's In-Betweeners 2 into... Oh, well, it's both of them, both In-Betweeners
I'm
movies.
seeing that you gave it a 51 out of 100. Why don't you tell us
Yeah.
how much you hate women, Jake?
Yeah, I will. No, it's... But, I mean, it came out in October 2013, and I remember that being an era where feminism was kind of like... I don't want to say... I'm not saying feminism's bad, but it was plaguing certain things in a negative way. So all I have to say is Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
It's an Amy Schumer type of thing. As in, like, for some reason... Honestly, I don't know how this happened. There's so many good female comedians. There actually is a lot of them. Like, one of my favourites is Sarah Milligan. There's, is it Amy or Sarah Pascoe? There's, Sandy Toksvig. There's so many good, but who don't just go, my vagina, you know? But this was very much that. There's so much, like, where the comedic joke is, the woman farted! She showed her vagina! It's like, there's a lot of it's that. But I did watch all 3 seasons of it.
Oh, wow.
Because it was, like, just casual shit. I wasn't paying much attention to it. And it weren't only that. It's just that the vast majority of it was that.
Yeah.
So 51 out of 100. Like, as in, it was average, a tiny bit better than the average thing you could watch. Mostly because of those reasons. So Dune's shit. That's the next thing. So
Yeah. Well, what was your problems with this one?
have you seen both of these?
I've
Dune
seen
movies?
both of them, yeah.
Thank God for that. Let's spend another 3 hours talking about these. I'm just gonna filter by the Dune movies just so I can kind of. I like both of them. So, okay, I rate them both 43 out of 100, and so did you apparently for Dune 1.
Yeah.
So okay. I'm just gonna quickly go over Dune 1. Right, when we first watched Dune 1 in cinemas, I had plenty of problems with it.
Yeah.
It was way too long, way too slow, caused actual plot holes. There was a lot of problems with it, but there was a lot of technical stuff to do with it. I think the world was still kind of interesting, and all that sort of thing. So it very much wasn't just problems, but there was a lot of problems. And I ended up giving it a 40, I think. I then went back and rewatched it as if it was a series. So I watched it an hour at a time.
Yeah.
Way more enjoyable an hour at a time. It makes complete sense to me that this franchise 100% should have been a series.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is something that happens loads nowadays, in that things that are made into movies should have been a series. Things that are made into series should have been movies.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones should have been 3 films. Dune should have been multiple seasons. Absolutely. So that's Dune 1. I bumped it up to 43 because I enjoy it more watching it like that. I don't know how I feel about doing that, but because it's kind of like that's not how it's been presented to you. You know, it's not it's meant to be watched. But that's how I enjoyed it. But anyway, Dune 2, right? 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a long movie.
So for the first hour or so, right, I was thinking, this is better than Dune 1.
Yeah.
And honestly, because of the first film, even though I rated it less than average, I didn't particularly enjoy it. I still had a lot of hope for the next one. I was thinking, I'm gonna not like the first one, but I reckon the second one's gonna maybe crack a 70 or something. It didn't. And here's why. So the first hour, I'm thinking, this is better than the first one, but not amazing still.
Yeah.
And then, just because I've been looking after this dog, we had to walk the dog, so I had to take a break.
Yeah.
And well, I watched it with Jasmine, and she does this a lot. She don't pay attention, and she fucks about on her phone. And she was like, "Oh, I don't know what's happened or anything." And I'm like, oh, "For fuck's sake, what?" You know.
Yeah.
It annoys me this. Why have you not paid attention? So I tried to recap it for her, and then realised actually nothing's happened. Like literally, first hour and 15 of that film. Nothing.
They are sort of just
Nothing
fighting
happens.
the Harkonnens in the desert, aren't they, for the first...
But they weren't not doing that before.
Yeah.
Like, back end of that film, they were basically just about to start doing that anyway.
Yeah.
Nothing happens for an hour and 15. Right? Then they have the middle hour, which is the best bit by far, where, like, Paul basically becomes, like, the leader of the northern part of the Fremen, and some other shit happens with the Harkonnens, but not really It's like another guy takes over from the last guy.
Yeah,
basically.
Fade Rafa takes over from
yeah.
the fucking what's his name?
So that happened,
Batista.
and then I needed to do another break because dog stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
So I accidentally watched this. I watched it all in the same day, but in separate stints. Then the last hour made no fucking sense. So like the pacing of this film. Fuck me. And this is a bold statement, I've never watched a film with worse pacing than Dune Part 2. Never. Do you understand, though? Surely you do. Like, holy shit. Like, nothing happens for 2 hours, and it's like, he drank some water, and now he's doing the legs, killed everyone. Everything happened within about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And also, like, I guess you can maybe use implication to help you force yourself to understand that, to help you force yourself to believe it makes sense. So he drinks this worm spunk, and then like that unlocks him being able to see the future and the past more, but not really. And also now he's angry and shit. But why though?
Yeah, so what that was that juice basically gave all the collective like memory and knowledge of all the past Bene Gesserit workers.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Okay. That happened to his mom. I get all that.
Yeah.
That don't mean he can see the future though.
Yeah, it does, because that's their power.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
The Bene Gesserit's power's not that.
Yeah, it is.
What's the point in any of it then? There's literally no point in any of this shit. If they can see the future and manipulate it anyway to what, who fucking cares? So what they want in the first place, as soon as we watch this universe, well, that's going to happen then. Who cares?
No,
and if it doesn't, then they're disrespecting whatever scientific rules they've just set up. So fuck this film, fuck this franchise. Do you know why I still believe this so passionately as well? And why it's ridiculous, and I know that's going to happen? Because one of the most, like, iconic bits, their version of the lightsaber, is the shields that everyone uses. And they fucking do the same shit with that as well. The whole point of that entire universe, the whole stylistic reason for every bit of it, right? They use sword combat and all of that. Pretty fucking cool. The whole reason that even exists is because those shields block fast kinetic motion, right? That's why they fight in the way they do. That's why guns aren't used and everything. But they just ignore all that shit all the time. So that's why I know there's no chance that that's how the Bene Gesserit works. And they can see the future. And if it is, they're ignoring that shit to change the plot, and it's all fucking pointless. And they're wasting all our times. Then they should go fuck themselves.
Okay. The thing is with the future seeing part is that it's not a guaranteed thing. That's the thing.
So it's not future seeing then.
No, it's like
so the Bene Gesserit, so they can't see the future then, can they?
No, it's like they can see possible futures.
So no, listen then. Yeah. So my impression is right. So the Bene Gesserit's power, the Paul's got, which is odd because he's male. They already fucked up some characters' genders anyway, but we'll not get into that. But that's also why he's the chosen one, right? So he can see the future kind of maybe in some flashes, in the same way the Bene Gesserit can, and that's why he kind of acts different, and then his visions change as a result. But it's not guaranteed because it kind of moves stuff. Okay, cool. But when he drinks that drink, it soups his power up, and it becomes he can just see the future. Yeah,
I think the whole thing is that after he's sort of like unlocked his ability and become the chosen one, it's a lot more clearer now. It's like
right. So the Bene Gesserit can't see the future like he can. Then.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. I'm more okay with that. It still don't matter though.
Okay.
So there's still no point in watching the whole thing because he can see the future. So it's going to happen. So he's going to win then. And if he doesn't, they're disregarding their rules again.
There's other shit in the galaxy, in the universe, with weird fucking powers, you know? It's like... it's a big galaxy, you know?
Listen, there's two outcomes after that's the case. One, they disregard the rules, as we know they're very happy to do, and that would piss me the fuck off. So that's not a good option. Or, there's someone else who has equal power to him that is also trying to... make the future be what they see. That's also a paradox. Can't happen. Because if one person's seen a future that they're then just kind of knowingly steering towards because they can see the entire future and exactly what to do, and another person's got like same thing, and it's not the same future, that can't happen. Just literally, logic. There's no chance. Not to do with physics of a world, not to do with our... That just in no scenario ever, even in reality, could never happen. So basically what I'm saying is they've just backed themselves into the stupidest, shitty corner ever. Like, it's such a ridiculous concept and franchise at this point. They can't win. They can't win. In fact, So when I saw Dune Part 1, I was predicting... I've got a feeling they're going to recover with Dune Part 2, and it'll be in the 70s. So I'm going to do the same thing for Dune Part 3, and give a prediction based off the last two. 10. I think I honestly believe they'll struggle to get past a 10. Honestly, with how they've set up the way that this could ever go, I cannot believe a single positive scenario.
Yeah.
It's fucked. It's fucked. And not only that, it's presented in such an awful way that takes forever, and the pacing's terrible, and it's shocking. 43 though, because the CGI is really fucking good, and the acting's actually pretty good as well. It's pretty fucking good, the acting, and...
Well, I'm gonna give it a 60.
You're wrong. Like, objectively, you're wrong.
I'm gonna give it a 60.
But I'll put you scoring. That's how we work in these places. That's wrong though. That score. It's quite possibly the most overrated thing we've ever added to a spreadsheet. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes critics 92, audience 95, IMDb 86. This is objectively not a good film.
The thing is, I've got mates who go fucking crazy about this film and think it's the best thing ever, and I just don't. I watched it and I had fun with it. That's as much I'm gonna defend.
The story
it.
Makes no.
I don't give a fuck.
Sense.
I don't give a fuck. All I'm saying about it is I watched it and had fun with it. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's great literary works or anything.
I suppose that's what the score means.
Yeah, that's 60. So.
Yeah. But to me, just because of who I am, it's an alien concept for the story to make no sense. Do you know the one word I would use to describe both these films is frustrating? for both those things to be the case and still enjoy it is wild to me. But it's if you did and you had fun with it, you did. Then fine.
It really pissed me off right in the beginning when they were ambushing that one group of Harkonnen, and for some reason the Harkonnen didn't have the shields on, so the Fremen were just sniping them. And I was thinking, why the fuck aren't they wearing the shields? And they even made it a point for one of the Harkonnen to go, because one of them was started reaching for a shield, and he went, no shield. And then it was never explained why no shield.
Because they don't want to fucking obey the rules. Is why.
It's like,
do you know? Yeah. It annoyed me. Right, I thought I was gonna like this one more than the last one because the flaws were gonna be there less. But there's two scenes that really depict the problem with the shields for me. In Dune 1, the scene is when Duncan Idaho is in that hallway fighting them all. It's just fucking hacking them.
Yeah.
And it's like that. Honestly, they knew the rules. They're professional fight choreographers.
Yeah.
Could they seriously not have worked that out?
I know.
Holy fuck!
The whole mantra is the slow blade cuts the deepest.
That's probably the most important scientific rule to that entire franchise.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, it's
you need to be close and then be able to slip it in.
Yeah. You need to deceive them, not know where it is, and slowly move into them. And do you know what? It's not like they never do that.
Yeah.
They even tell us that that's the rules. They tell us when Paul's training with fucking Thanos. What's his name?
I know what you're talking about. Not just Brolin, but
just Brolin.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of the characters.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. Gurney Allen.
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
So they tell us with that. In part 2, they tell us it again.
Yeah, they do.
In the climactic fight where he fights that bald cunt, which, by the way, Didn't need to exist. Why is he even here?
It just shows up. It just fucking shows up in the books as well.
That should have been Batista.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why? We just wasted our fucking time with a whole fucking, like, black and white fucking, I don't know, he's killed an Asian guy. Who fucking cares? None of that was needed. That was like 40 minutes!
In the original movie, that was played by Slash.
That was awful. It was awful. Absolutely. Do you know what? Austin Butler did a great job of acting that, by the way. He was. This is the thing. That's why I gave it 43, because actually the technical ability of it all, how he looked, how it was presented, and how it was acted was really good. And it was all fucking pointless.
Yeah.
Because the story is what matters by far above everything. If the story's not right, it ruins any of that effort. And it's insane. That fight that was ridiculous and slow paced, and the fact that Paul slowly, sneakily managed to win by the end of it after taking some damage, was pretty cool. Wasn't Batista his main rival of the Harkonnens the whole time? It was so arbitrary to swap them out.
Yeah.
The other thing as well, you know when the Harkonnens bombed the Northern Fremens main base?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, just because the fuckers, I think is...
No.
Yeah.
It was a secret base. They didn't know where they were. In fact, most of the movie, they were shown not knowing where the fuck they are.
Yeah.
The whole... in fact, I'll tell you why, because I fucking Googled it mid-movie. Because I thought I'd missed something.
Yeah.
I thought, did I fall asleep for like 15 minutes or something?
Yeah.
No, the whole reason why they bombed that base at that point is only to demonstrate the new guy's more effective. They give no reasoning why he found it, or any evidence.
Yeah.
Oh, he's better. And then he dies. So who cares?
He does, yeah.
What a fucking stupid film. I'm giving it 40. What a stupid... I'm giving them both 40.
You gave it a 49 there.
What a stupid fucking franchise. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's insane. It's utterly insane. So they even show that's how the shields and knives and stuff work in the second movie again.
Yeah.
And they also fuck it up in the second movie again.
Yeah.
Because Josh Brolin is fighting a war with a bunch of people and them shields is like stab.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's I wouldn't mind so much if it weren't for the fact that these films are praised so much.
Yeah.
It's shocking to me that 90s regularly, 90 out of 100 regularly, people love them. They think they're masterpieces of cinema. And they're shit. It's shit. It's crap. It's mind blowing to me. I would be very surprised if there's a more overrated thing on the spreadsheets. So you've given it a 60 as opposed to my 40. Can you justify that? Can you justify the fact that you've given it a chunk above average? Like it's a definitive, notably amount above average.
Yeah. I like space adventures like this. That's all the justification I'm going to give it.
Ruined a space adventure that's anything like this, and then
it's good enough. It's good enough for me to be.
Though I've given you lots of reasons why it's not.
I don't care enough about that stuff that you've mentioned. Like
it's just a feeling. Then.
Yeah, like I just.
So if you were to like forget about the feeling, what feeling it gave you, and we're a robot analysing it, do you think you would?
I'd probably give it like a 30 or something,
okay. Okay. I'm happy with that. I'm okay.
So if you're exactly like me and you're emotionless...
No, because what I want to know is because feelings are justified in you giving a score that you want to give.
Yeah.
So that's a valid thing.
Yeah.
I just want to know that it is the feelings doing that, rather than, the objective nature of it.
Yeah.
Because the objective nature of it objectively sucks. So, okay, cool. So that's everything that's been watched, I think, recently, unless you've got anything else.
Nope.
Oh, that was a nice fart. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're 4 off of 1,300 entries into this spreadsheet. Even when we've reached episode 300 and we stop podcasting all this stuff, we'll still just privately do this. So who knows? Even if we stop podcasting and kind of just keep doing this, when it gets to like, I don't know, what number of movies and TV would it have to get to do like some sort of recap of the spreadsheet? Do you think?
I think like 2000.
2K, yeah, I think probably. But that's basically going to be when we're like 80. Because like the reason why it's at like 1,300 so far is that we've
had
added stuff from all our history. But I'm pretty certain we're at the point now where it's really, really rare that we remember something that we've not already put on here. It's all just kind of like new stuff. I mean, obviously Scrap Heap Challenge was the latest one to go on here that's remembered, but that was... It's like been a year since we've done that. I just want to, because I've been rewatching it, I want to look at Inside Job. Yeah, I might put this up. I really, really like Inside Job.
It's really good,
I'm really annoyed that it got cancelled. I think I will give it... Oh, it's so good. It's really good, but there's a lot of really good stuff at 75.
You'd put it above Hunger Games, surely.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at like... Actually, the Hunger Games is probably a bit... Maybe...
Whoa! Oh my god, that was fucking...
I meant to drop it like... So, Inside Job's at 73. Hunger Games was 75, but I've dropped Hunger Games to 73. It's like... Do I think that Inside Job's better than The Amazing Spider-Man? Probably.
Which one's the... That's Andrew Garfield, isn't it?
Yeah, the first Andrew Garfield.
Which you gave a 4... Oh no, I gave it that 47, okay. I gave that a 47, the first one. Well, that's like a 58.
So that's the one where he's against the lizard.
Yeah, I don't know why I gave that like a 47.
Yeah. I don't know. Mission Impossible Fallout and Rogue One. Help, I'm a Fish. It's probably up there with these. Clickbait, yeah. It's probably a 77, maybe a 78. Oh, I'm going to say 77, I think. I think that's probably more fair to Inside Job. Because it is a cracking show. It's a cracking show. I think, actually, another one I want to change is Rick and Morty.
Is that going down?
It's actually, I've already done it, I think. Because I remember Rick and Morty being up there, like somewhere in the 90s, perhaps, like a low 90 type of thing. But it's been knocked about.
Yeah.
And I'm not just thinking about like Justin Roiland's accusations or anything, because what's the other one?
Solar Opposites.
Yeah, Solar Opposites. I'm pretty sure I've kept up there. 86. Yeah. Solar Opposites is such a good show. They'll never do any more seasons of it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I wish they could have known and kind of almost concluded it in a way. But it's not one of those where, like, I'm desperate for it to be concluded.
Yeah.
Out of any show or maybe even movie series that you've ever seen, can you think of one that's not been concluded that you, like, would love to have a good conclusion more than anything?
Yeah.
I know exactly what mine is, but I want to hear what yours is.
Oh, God, I feel like I've watched something. I don't know. I feel like I have something specific somewhere up here, but I just can't think of it.
Yeah.
There was. I mean, this isn't the thing that I've obviously got locked away somewhere in my mind prison, but I feel like Torchwood maybe could have got something, because it kind of just stopped being a show.
It.
I really think you should watch Torchwood.
Maybe I should, but latest Doctor Who's kind of.
Well, don't worry about that.
I know it's nothing to do with it.
It's when Doctor Who was good, so.
I guess.
In fact, it was when Doctor Who was best. So.
Yeah, debatable.
It's like
who's best at Matt Smith.
Oh,
I know.
Weird.
I didn't used to think that, but I since my multiple rewatches, actually.
Weird and
so.
Gay. Actually.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think I'm more gay than I ever have been.
Oh,
since
that'll
then.
be Matt Smith.
Yeah, it's his fault. Yeah. Blame him.
Well, I think it's good anyway. I know it's not that it because what happened was I think there was either 2 or 3 seasons of it, and then there was like 3. There were like 2 or 3 specials, and then after one of the specials, it just stopped. And I think Jack ended up being in Doctor Who somewhere, so like it kind of technically. And Torchwood were actually in
Yeah,
Doctor Who.
yeah,
They were in the
in the Masters one.
Yeah,
weren't they?
yeah.
Great episodes. They really contributed to that as well.
So yeah, the Masters one and the one where the Daleks came back. And Rose.
Yeah, but
Rose...
everyone forgets that because it's Daleks again.
Yeah.
But they don't forget it more than Sutek.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know. He's in the newest. This one is the God of Death, and
Well, I remember watching that second to last episode.
Yeah.
Biggest build-up I've ever seen in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's gonna reveal the name of the villain. And he just spelled it out, and we just went to Jasmine both and who? Who the fuck's that? And we had to Google it. It was ridiculous. It's just so shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm at the point now, and this is a bold claim, and maybe I'm taking it too far, that the current Doctor Who, with the latest guy, not because of him, is worse than Jodie Whittaker's seasons.
Yeah.
I think it is. The worst episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen is in the latest season with Maestro.
Yeah.
That's the worst episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The best episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen is The Day of the Doctor, which was a Matt Smith episode.
Was that the special with David Tennant and John Hurt? Okay. Yeah.
That's the best one I've ever seen. I
think
the other one than that is the first Master Saga.
Mine might be Doomsday.
What's that one?
That's the one with the Cyberman when Rose dies. Or is that? Is it
Pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking good. That's very up there. Yeah, absolutely. Potentially top 5 for sure. So there's the Day of the Doctor, and then there's the Time of the Doctor, which is the one where Matt Smith gets all old and shit.
Yeah, that's the one where it's like in that little village.
Pretty good as well. I like that a lot. That should be where Doctor Who ended. So when we're talking about like shows that we wish had a conclusion, I'll get back to the one that I think should be. When it comes to shows that should have fucking ended when they ended, Doctor Who would probably be my number 1.
Yeah.
And it should have ended there. That's when it should have ended, I think. And that's not to say it should have ended completely permanently. Honestly, if it did, I would still be happy. But if they then brought it back in 20 years again, like what happened last time, then that would be much better. It's same with Marvel in a lot of people's eyes, but that's still a debate. I mean, people think it should have ended after Endgame. I think maybe after Spider-Man No Way Home, and then rebooted again in 20 years. I don't know. Yeah. But another one, another really big one that should have stopped ages ago, The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I think 2023 to 2025, we should get The Simpsons movie 2, and then it's done.
It won't.
It absolutely won't. It'll be going for another forever.
Yeah.
But I think it should. Come on.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
When it comes to the one I recommend that should have had a better conclusion, Utopia. Did you ever watch that?
Still haven't watched it.
Yeah, you should watch it. It honestly, because they got cancelled, they wrapped it up well enough.
Yeah.
And I'm not like mega unhappy about it, but I would be so happy if they would have given them just one more season to properly tie it up. Yeah. Honestly, if I've said it so many times to you, but if there's any show that I've recommended to you that you should go and actually watch, it's Utopia. Yeah. Absolutely.
The only thing I know about Utopia is that... Well, I know 2 things about Utopia, is that one of the scenes is shot in the Barnsley bus station.
Yeah, that was jarring.
Yeah, and the other thing is that the main theme, it goes hard as fuck.
The whole music goes hard as fuck. You'd love it. The Barnsley bus station episode, I didn't know about that. And then I think it's episode 1 of the last season. And then it just like happened. It was happening. Yeah. And like, because it was one of those shows that I know I have to pay attention to, I put it on, I sat down and wanted to watch it. And then it went blam, Barnsley bus station. I was like, oh no, I'm in the movie. It's happening. It really freaked me out.
Yeah. Is it in the show? Is it like, oh, he is in Barnsley, or is it just meant to be like the bus station of that area that he's in, or is it?
It's not massively relevant.
It's not relevant.
It don't matter. He's in the north. That's what matters.
Okay.
He's in the north.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose technically...
Yeah, so canonically he was in Barnsley bus station.
Technically, canonically, not necessarily, but very well could canonically was in the north. That's as much as you can say, really.
And he's talking to this woman and he goes, I'm gonna fucking stab you.
No, but he does say that, like, the best thing she could do for the planet is slit her kid's throat, who's right there.
Yeah.
So
that's a good scene.
It's a really good scene. The acting is such a fucking good show. And when it comes to music in TV shows, best intros music, I genuinely think Inside Job has the best intro music I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It goes so fucking hard.
Yeah.
And it's the only show that I never skip the intro for, and I go,
Yeah.
and I just dance to it the whole time. It's, it bumps like mad. It's so good. So to sum up the podcast, Trump got shot by some fucking freak, and maybe the Secret Service were involved.
And maybe that freak was in one of Chris's Discord servers.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Kris from Mr. Beast is a paedophile and deserves to be beheaded.
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect is less of a paedophile and still did bad things.
Just take an arm.
Movies and TV have ratings. I think that's about as much as I can say. Dune 2 is a bad movie.
We took 3 hours and 10 minutes to say all that. Jesus Christ.
There you go. But Dune would have taken longer.
Yeah, no, exactly. We're just about fucking watching Chiny like riding off into the sunset in a big
We've been podcast. It's probably the longest podcast we've done for over 3 hours, and no one said anything. So that's the whole reason we're going to 300, and we'll be fine.
Yeah,
we will have a really good 300 podcast as well. Just to say goodbye to it, I guess. I mean, I do think fondly of it, but also think pointless. Anyway, we'll see you next week for podcast 225.
Yeah, I'm gonna spray piss. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spray piss.
Oh god. Okay. Bye.